What's up, guys? It's your boy Matthew. What's good? Um, Today I'm gonna be streaming my podcast that I do with my two friends, Prime, a UCW member, and my friend Plunder, who owns the podcast. He runs the Steelers page on Instagram, and today I'm gonna just stream it just so I have it up, and I'm probably gonna try to do it in the future as well. So I don't expect many views from this right away, if any. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Today we're doing regular season team record predictions, and then who we think our Super Bowl winner is gonna be. I still haven't finished mine yet because I'm a loser, but we gotta go ahead and get into that now. So we're gonna go ahead and join this here.
Oh,
Yo,
timing was that,
I just started the stream. Okay.
bro? Literally before 5 seconds, I said, "Where's Matthew at?" Okay, so does everybody know what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, yeah. Before we get started with the prediction, though, we'll talk briefly about the fucking the cuts that we made. I might throw in the Kevin Dot. Well, actually, we talked about it
Yeah, we
yesterday.
kind of did.
I forgot, yeah. And then we'll get into this interesting predictions, which honestly was kind of fucking hard to do.
Yep. Yeah, this is bad.
Everyone's good. Everyone can hear each other. No issues. None of that.
Yep.
You're streaming, right, Matt?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, I'll start in a couple seconds here. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Strictly Steelers podcast. I'm your host, Pittsburgh All Day, joined by my co-host, Matthew. Say what's up.
What's good?
And Primetime, say what's up.
Yo.
All right, guys. Before we get started, though, we have a couple of announcements to make. So we're going to actually be expanding now. We're going to be on other streaming services and apps like that. We're going to be on TikTok now, which I posted on my story. So you guys make sure you go follow that. We're going to be posting some clips there. They're going to be a wide variety of clips, like funny ones, cool hot takes, stuff like that. And you guys should definitely give that a follow. And our good co-host here, Matthew, is also going to be streaming on his YouTube channel from now on, so we can help, increase our viewership and all that kind of stuff. And I think YouTube is obviously a great way to do that, and especially with Matthew having some subscribers already and him getting a lot of views, so that's definitely going to be good. You guys should definitely go check out his channel at Papa Matthew Games. He posts some really good content, such as wrestling. He does a lot of live streams with that. If you guys are wrestling fans, so you definitely should go check out his streams. I think you'd like them. And so just want to get that out the way. We're kind of excited about the future. We definitely think we're going to be having a lot of good content, especially with football starting around the corner. And so just wanted to get that out the way. And now we're going to be talking about, in this episode, predictions for this upcoming season. Not just for the Steelers, mind you, the entire NFL, yeah. So we're going to be doing division by division, saying the team's records, why we think they'll finish that way, and we'll give our playoff predictions and our Super Bowl winner. So think of this as basically our official predictions for the 2023 NFL season, because we kind of know where each team stands at right now. But before that, we got to talk about some recent Steeler cuts that they made earlier this morning. And one was kind of a bit surprising, one was a slight surprise, and the others were kind of expected. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, guys, the Steelers made a couple of cuts this morning. I think it was 10 players, or I don't know the exact number. But one of those cuts, guys, included Tanner Muse and safety Kenny Robinson. Now, these are guys that have made some plays once in a while, and I was kind of surprised by the Tanner Muse one especially, but a little bit shocked by the Kenny Robinson one, even though I can understand it. But why don't you guys give your thoughts, whoever wants to go first?
I'm gonna go. The Tanner Muse. I mean, I'll say like 50-50. Like kind of a surprise. At the same time, I'm not genuinely surprised. Because he was if he was to make the roster, he would have been on special teams. But in terms of the linebacker position, we picked up Landon Roberts, we picked up Cole Holcomb, we're trying to give Mark Robinson a shot, and then we picked up Alexander like not even a month ago. So probably based off the linebacker position from that standpoint, we probably just parted ways with them. So they probably just didn't look at the special teams aspect. Considering for special teams, when making roster cuts, it's going to be like limited kicker, punter, all that. So there's not going to be much depth for special teams unless you're called off from the practice squad. So I'm not like genuinely surprised of that cut.
That's fair. Matthew?
Yeah, I was actually surprised about Tanner Muse being cut. I mean, I guess it. I mean, I guess we'll see what they do, but I think for me, I was expecting him to be like one of the best special teamers on the team, like similar to, I don't know how good, but like similar to like how Robert Spillane was. You saw him making plays during special teams mainly. Didn't really do anything good on defense, but I don't think Tanner would have even had to play defense too much because of all the linebacker depth we have now. But yeah, I guess they didn't like what they saw too much, and overall, I guess they have a different plan than having Tanner Muse on the team.
Yeah, I'm kind of on there with you. I thought he would be a good special teams contributor. That's what I thought they mainly signed him for, and for depth purposes. But Tomlin obviously had different plans, and they cut him today, so that's unfortunate. But it's whatever. I guess we're fine with our current special teams core with guys like Miles Boykin and Miles Killebrew, who are obviously good special teamers, and you could even argue better than Tanner Muse. But yeah, that one was kind of surprising, and no one really expected, to be honest. Another cut that kind of brought people up to their feet was safety Kenny Robinson. Now, I'll go first on this one because he's an interesting player. He made some plays during training camp, 7-on-7 shots, made some plays in kind of not really, honestly. I take that back. In some preseason games, you didn't really see him stand out that much. Maybe a couple tackles here and there, but not really the turnovers and pass breakups that you wanted to see from him, which he was making during camp. So that kind of was interesting. Maybe he could be a practice squad candidate, but I don't know. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on that. Obviously during training camp, his name stuck out a whole bunch of times, and in preseason, I didn't really see like much from him. Guys like Trenton Thompson and even a little bit of Elijah Riley, they stuck out a little bit more during the preseason. That's probably one of the factors on why Kenny Robinson got cut. Because to me, Trenton Thompson did pretty good. I think he got a fumble recovery, and
He got a pick against Tampa.
Did have a pick,
yeah, exactly. I was about to mention that too. So yeah, he made more splash plays than Kenny Robinson did exactly, and so like Elijah Riley, he might be a depth piece for it, but I wanted to give Kenny a chance for it, but he probably just didn't like perform in preseason like the stats just wanted him to. So
Yeah, that's fair. Matthew, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was really gonna come down to him and Trenton, and I honestly would have probably assumed that Kenny would have gotten the nod over him because he's been here longer, but I guess they liked that his splash play ability and getting that pick, and just I don't really know too much about like training camp details and stuff like that. But I would have to assume that's the reason why. Even though Kenny had a fumble recovery, I guess he didn't do the forced fumble. Like, that was Mark Robinson. But still, I don't know. I thought Kenny Robinson had a solid training camp. So I guess they must, really like what they have with Trenton as like a third or fourth safety on the team.
Yeah, I think I think you're right there, and we'll see what happens tomorrow on what their futures hold. And yeah, so without further ado, the other cuts were kind of expected, so we don't really need to talk about them. But yeah, let's get into some predictions, which is kind of the highlight of this episode. So how this is going to work is we're going to go division by division. We're going to go from last to first because, we want to save the best for last. And we won't give like long explanations unless we really need to. But, oh, good shit, McCutcheon. But we're going to
the
go...
game on?
Yeah. We're gonna, what's it called? Go division by division. Prime will go first, Matthew will go second, I will go last, and yeah, that's gonna kind of how it's work. I have the division list in order, so I'll be saying which division we're gonna go talk about first, and yeah, without further
Wait, Plundo.
what?
Someone watching said or asked me to tell you to say according to my calculations.
No, they can go fuck themselves. But basically, we're gonna go division by division. The first one we are gonna get started with is the AFC South.
AC
All right,
South.
bet.
Not Matthew. Prime, take it away.
All right,
Oh,
so
wait. I forgot to say. So it's not going to be like where you're going to say each division rankings. Like you're going to talk about, fourth Texans or whoever you have there. Like we're going to go fourth by each other. Like Prime, you'll say who finished in fourth. Matthew will say who finished in fourth. And I'll say who finished in fourth, if that makes sense.
wait, are we just saying the team, or are we saying like their exact record too?
Yeah. We'll say the record too.
All right.
So Prime, take it away.
So for the Texans, I have the Texans with the first name in my head, and I got them going 4-13. But but yeah, I have them going 4-13 because they're still a very young team. Obviously, they got C.J. Stroud, and they got Will Anderson as well. But like I said, they're a very young team. They still need a lot of pieces, like from the wide receiver position, a little bit of nods for the defense, and I'm still not 100%. I still don't trust the coaching staff as well. Plus, they got a mediocre schedule as well. But in terms of like the other teams in the AFC, especially two other teams in their division, I don't see them competing as much this year. Maybe in the future, but as of this year, I got them 4-13. They're still young. They still have a lot to prove.
Matt.
All right, yeah. So what I have is the Texans going 3-14. I think it wouldn't like surprise me if they were able to win like maybe 5 or more games. Not anything crazy. I think their ceiling is probably like 6. But I feel like I'm not super excited for C.J. Stroud. I'm not very high on him. Obviously, I'm biased for Penn State, but I feel like I don't know. I don't love him as a player too much, and I don't think the supporting cast is gonna be really good compared to on any other NFL team. I will say I like D'Amico Ryans as a coach. I think he should have the defense keeping them in some games, and Will Anderson should be great. But I think 3-14 for me makes sense because just where they are in the whole league right now, I feel like in a couple years they could be ready to compete, depending on Stroud's like development and stuff like that, and getting more pieces in obviously and stuff like that. But for now, I think 3-14 is kind of where they are for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the board going here. I have the Texans at 4-13, finishing last in the AFC South, simply for all the reasons you guys said. Team is just young and unproven. They still, have a lot to grow. They have a lot of room to work on. So I think D'Amico Ryans is a good coach. I think he can build a nice culture over there in defense in Houston, what they want. He was a former Texan, actually, and he, funny enough, sued the franchise, which kind of funny how that works. But I do think he's the right coach for that team. I think he'll bring the mindset and mentality they want. But it's going to be a little bit. It's not going to be this year. They still have a lot of work to do. So 4-13.
All right.
All right. Third place.
So for third, next team I have the Colts. I have them going 6-10. Wait, no, it's 6-11. I'm tripping. I can't even count. Yeah. Yeah, the Colts, they're in the same boat as the Texans. Starting off young. They obviously might lose Jonathan Taylor within the next week or so. And I feel like they're just an unbalanced team right now as well. I feel like Anthony Richardson can prove to be solid. Michael Pittman could have a bounce back year, and Alex Pierce, I still can't trust him. But and they got Josh Downs too, so we'll see how that plays as well. But I feel like losing Jonathan Taylor, if that's the case, is a huge factor for them. And their defense can't stay. Defense can't stay healthy for the past couple of years. Obviously Shaq Leonard is coming back, They lost Stephon Gilmore um, in the off season, and they got there's some opponents that stick out to me that just is like don't have the Colts like winning that much games to me. But I got them going third because I don't see them better than the Titans or the Jags in their division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matthew?
This might be a little shocking. I have the Colts at 6-11, which I mean it's nothing great by any means, but
Same.
yeah. I feel like Anthony Richards, even if Jonathan Taylor's gone, I feel like Anthony Richardson's rushing ability is gonna do solid on offense. I would assume if Jonathan Taylor goes that they sign someone like Kareem Hunt or maybe Leonard Fournette. And if they get Kareem Hunt, I think he's underrated as a player. I think he could not obviously do as well as Jonathan Taylor, but like fill in nicely. And I feel like Michael Pittman, the one thing that's been a problem for him is having like a new quarterback every single year of his career, pretty much. He started with Phillip Rivers, then I don't even know who, like Nick like what?
Yeah, he went to Carson Wentz and
Yeah,
now
Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan and now Anthony Richardson, and basically I think with some continuity, or I mean, even though it is Anthony Richardson's first year, I think knowing that Anthony Richardson is the future, that like should help him. And then also the defense is still solid. I just don't think like it's similar to the Texans. I think they're a bit better overall than the Texans, which is why I have them winning 3 more games than them. But I think it's really going to come down to Anthony Richardson's development to see how far they can go in the future. But for now, 6-11, I think they'd be pretty happy with. So I'm going to have them there.
Yep.
All right, I have the Colts here at third place, but not at 6-11 like you guys. I have them at 4-13, just like the Texans. I think Jonathan Taylor, who's obviously going to get traded here in the next couple days or week or whatever, he's going to be gone. That's the thing. He's going to be gone from this team. That's the whole point of this. And I think losing a guy like Jonathan Taylor, who has been probably, you could argue, one of their most, if not their most productive player the past couple seasons, that's a huge loss for them. That's a really big loss for them. And other running backs on their team right now, they're not going to be able to fill that hole that he has. I mean, even if they do sign Kareem Hunt or Leonard Fournette, they're not going to fill Jonathan Taylor's shoes like that. That's just not going to happen. And not to mention, the Colts' defense it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, they have some pieces to work with. But really, it's not going to be enough to help them out at all because Anthony Richardson, I think, is the definition of a boom or bust prospect. And I really don't like rushing him in right away because I still think he's going to need time to develop given his inconsistencies in the accuracy, his ability to throw deep on pinpoint, basically consistently. I think that's going to also need some time that Shane Steichen's going to need to help him out with. But I just think the Colts are, kind of in the same boat as the Texans, kind of like Prime said. Young quarterback, unproven. I think Richardson has great potential and could be one of the best QBs in the league. However, I do think he's going to need time, and which is why I don't like him starting right away. So Colts at 4-13.
Fair enough.
All right, second place.
All right, second place got the Titans. Now I have them going 9-8, and because one, Mike Vrabel is a good coach. Well, no matter what people say about him, that's for one. Number two is that Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry. Some people say that he's gonna have he's gonna have a down year. I don't see that being the case, considering even though he did have more fumbles than usual within the past couple of years, he still managed to finish like third or second in rushing yards this past season, whatever the case may be. But the main reason why I have him barely over a winning record at 9-8 is mainly because of Derrick Henry and Jeffrey Simmons. But we all know about the quarterback situation, whether Tannehill is gonna be benched for after a couple of games, whether Malik Willis or the male coffee drinker might take his place, or whatever the case may be. That's just like the biggest question mark about the Titans right now. And for DeAndre Hopkins, he could provide an addition for the Titans. But at the same time, we all seen that meme about wide receivers going to the Titans, whether their primes are wasted. Obviously, Julio wasn't the best for the Titans for the past couple years. But whatever the case may be, they're gonna finish second, barely 9-8 for my prediction, and that's just about it.
Okay.
Yep. That's fair. I have the Titans in second place as well, but I have them at 7-10. Um, I feel like, when I was looking at their schedule, their first four are crazy. Obviously they're winnable, but like they have a chance to win. But their first four on the schedule are hold on, let me click on it. Please load. It's the Saints, which is a winnable game, but I think I had the Saints winning that one. I had Chargers beating the Titans. I had Browns beating the Titans, and then I have the Bengals beating the Titans before they get their first win. And so, like, I feel like that's just a terrible start when you're 0-4, and I don't see anyone bouncing back like and being super successful after that. Although they did finish the year in my predictions fairly well. But at the end of the day, Derrick Henry, I agree. I don't think he's gonna have a fall off year. I think he'll still have like a top 6 season as a running back. I don't expect the rest of the team to be too great. I still agree with you. I think Vrabel's a good coach. I just think that Ryan Tannehill is the guy who's kind of washed. And even if they go to Will Levis, obviously development, and he's honestly wasn't even like very great for me as a prospect. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of stuck right now in mediocrity, but I don't think it would take them too long to get like playoff onto the playoff tier again. I mean, the AFC is just so stacked. Like, it's hard to pick like everyone to have like a winning record or anything like that. And they're 7-10, and they're the 13th seed in the AFC for me. Like, that just goes to show how stacked it is, and I just had to have them at 7-10.
That's completely fair. And I have the Titans at second place too. But the problem is I have them at 4-13 as well.
Oh my God!
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go through it if you have it up.
All right, here's the thing.
Yeah, it is.
I think the Titans are fucking terrible. I do not think this team is good at all. I think Tannehill is on the wrong side of 30. He showed massive decline last season. He even got hurt later in the year, which is kind of becoming a problem now. You look at their other options. Malik Willis was absolutely terrible when he played last year. Granted, he was a rookie, but there's been reports saying that, they want to trade him, they want to get rid of him. So, I mean, that just goes to show you what they think about Malik Willis already. Then you got this fucking disgusting motherfucker who drinks mayo in his coffee all the time, who I didn't like as a prospect to begin with. I thought he wasn't very good at Kentucky, and I thought he was overrated as a prospect. And I just don't think, obviously, what Matthew said, development's going to come into play, and he's not going to be ready right away. So that's another factor to, kind of consider as well. Their offensive line is terrible. It is not good at all. Peter Skoronski is not going to change that offensive line just like that. There's going to need a couple more revamps to kind of fix that. Their receiving core is, they got DeAndre Hopkins, but again, the quarterback situation is not good. I think DeAndre Hopkins is not going to carry you to a playoff position or a winning record in a stacked AFC already when it's so loaded. I also think that Derrick Henry, he's good, don't get me wrong. I think he'll be fine, but he can't do it by himself. And he also did lead the league in fumbles last year, so that's something to consider. But, however, I don't think that'll repeat, but it's also something just to keep in mind as well. Now, going to the defense side. Now, the defense isn't terrible. It's really not. It's not that bad. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is good. He's a top defensive lineman in the league. He's pretty good. But other than that, there's not really much to be excited about. There's not really just much to be happy about on this team. Kevin Byard's getting up there. He's okay, but he's been also linked to, trade rumors despite contract, dispute and all that stuff. Their corners are okay. I mean, Caleb Farley's not bad, but he's always injured all the time. So, you can't really trust him to be healthy. Christian Fulton's good, but he's not really, a leader or anything like that. He's good, but he's not going to do it by himself, especially if Caleb Farley availability will be a problem. And, I just don't think this team is good. I'll be honest. I just do not think this team is good at all, which is why I have them going very low as they do. The reason why they're at second for me is because they snag 3 division wins for me.
Yeah, same actually. But wait, it's funny how there's none of us talk about DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's like, I guess everyone just, I don't know, doesn't take him into like consideration or like something like
I
that.
mean,
I just feel like that's another reason I didn't even bring it up. I feel like he should be able to help their offense out. I don't think he'll be as bad as like Julio when they got him. I think D Hop still has a couple good years left in him. It's just not with Ryan Tannehill. So
yeah, that's my thing. I just
Yeah,
I don't.
I agree with you there. But wait, do you have like your predictions pulled up right now, or is it just like?
No, I have it on my
Okay, I
screen.
wanted to know who you like had them beating, and
Okay, I had them beating the Colts in Week 5,
okay, same,
and then I had them beating the Buccaneers Week 10.
same. Even
I
though
had
that's
them, and then I had them beating the Colts again Week 13.
I had Colts win that one.
I put the Titans simply it's because at home
Yeah.
and they have against them. And then their last one I have them getting a win against the Jags in Week 18, which I'll explain later.
Yeah, I actually do too because I think Jags rest starters there.
Yeah.
Do too.
Yeah.
So I just don't think this team is fucking good.
So you have the Texans sweeping them.
Yeah, if you look at last year, the Texans I think swept them, and they split with them, but the Texans actually played pretty damn good against them.
It's fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we can move on. I agree. It's fun.
So I think first place we all got the same team here.
Yep.
So Prime, kick it off.
All right. So first place, we got no other than the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I have them going 12-5. Now for the Jags, I'm gonna just start off with this. Their offense is loaded. Trevor Lawrence obviously had a breakout year. They're getting Calvin Ridley back. No matter what people say about him about being a gambling addict, he's a fucking stud. He's coming back. Christian Kirk just coming off a career year. He's gonna be a good wide receiver 2-piece. Evan Ingram having a remarkable season. Obviously got Travis Etienne, and like I said, the offense is loaded. And then Tank Bigsby, he could be a solid RB2 for them as well. They have good coaching and Doug Peterson. And then their defense, they have some pretty solid stars as well. They got Tyson Campbell, you got Devin Lloyd, Javon Walker, and then Rashawn Jenkins. They got some they're really talented. And then especially last season, overcoming from a losing season to clinching the division, and then having one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history against the Chargers. I feel like it's only going to get better from here from the Jaguars and Jag Nation. So, yeah.
All right, Matthew.
Yeah, for me, I have the Jaguars at 11-6. I think they're. It's hard to explain because I think they're a very solid team. I would put them into the category of playoff contender who it wouldn't. I don't know how to put it. Like, I don't think they will win the Super Bowl or get particularly close, but it wouldn't surprise me if they go on a run like they almost did last year, and I would say they got better this year, but so did other teams. And once we get to playoffs, we'll talk about it, but I think that 11-6 is fair for them. They have a really easy division, and I think that's going to help a lot. I had them going 4-2 in their division, which is honestly maybe lower than some other people. And they could have a higher record due to that division. We'll see what happens in there. But I feel like Trevor Lawrence should stay where he's at, if not get better, maybe come close to top 5. I like Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby's a nice rookie. Calvin. The receiving core is great. Calvin Ridley's a beast. Zay Jones even broke out, and Christian Kirk, he's always going to be pretty consistent. Evan Ingram had a very solid season since coming to the Jags. O-line, not really good. They lost their best offensive lineman. He went to the Chiefs, Jawan Taylor. Their defense, I don't know. It's weird because, a couple of their defenders just never panned out. A couple of first-rounders, what's that one dude's name? Caleb on Chason. I don't know if he's still on their team. He was, a very high first-round pick for them a couple years ago. I don't know, but Trayvon Walker was a reach at 1, even though he could still be solid. Secondary, I like Tyson Campbell. I think he's a good corner, but outside of that, it's nothing special. And linebackers, Devin Lloyd's okay. He's coming into his second year, but overall, I think they have enough like solid players around their like really good players to get it done, especially in this division. But I don't think they'll be going too far. But we'll talk about that. So yeah, 11-6 for the Jags.
It's fair. I can agree with that in some ways. I have the Jags obviously at first place at 13-4. I am really high on the Jaguars this year. They're one of the teams I'm very excited for this year. I think that Trevor Lawrence is only going to get better. I think he showed massive improvement. It just goes to show you how bad of a coach Urban Meyer was for them. I also think Calvin Ridley coming back is going to be huge for them because him and Trevor Lawrence, I think, are going to build a very great connection. And I think now in this offense that Ridley is in, I think it just allows so many more opportunities for other players. I think Christian Kirk is great. He's consistent. Despite the contract he got last year, he proved his worth of it. And you got Evan Ingram, who had a bounce-back year with the Jags and got a nice extension with them, so that was nice. The Jags line it's not the greatest. It's really not, but it's definitely not terrible by any means. I thought Anton Harrison was a nice pickup for them. I think he could be a nice tackle for them. I think Travis Etienne is a great player, and I think he's only going to get better. I think he's a great back to have in that field. I also think the defense, it's pretty good, too. I mean, they got some nice pieces over there, like Foye Oluokun. I thought he's a great linebacker to have. I think he's all over the field making tackles and making plays, and it's nice to have a backer in that. I think Tyson Campbell's a nice secondary player, but outside of that, like Matthew said, not really special. I mean, Rayshawn Jenkins, yeah, he's not bad, but he's not really special or anything. Devin Lloyd, I think, is okay. He showed flashes. I just think he needs to be more consistent. And then the D-line, you got Josh Allen, who's pretty good. And overall, I think the Jags are just overall a very solid team. And I think this year they're really going to connect in a lot of ways. And especially this division that they're in, I think it's just they should have this division locked up no problem.
Sure.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's going to do it for the AFC South. Obviously, there were some mixed reviews about the Titans there, but that's just how I feel. But overall, we had some pretty, close projections there. We all thought the same in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
So now, moving on, we're actually going to go stay in the AFC, and we're going to go on to the AFC East.
AFC East. All right.
All right.
So, go ahead. Okay. So, last place. I have the Patriots going 7-10.
Okay.
Now, here's the reason. The reason why I got the Patriots at least 7 games, because I feel like y'all might have them a little bit lower. It's some because of Bill Belichick. I know he hasn't been the same with Tom Brady. We all know that. But despite what it may be, the Patriots always manage to find a way to have at least like 7, 8, 9 wins around that range. I think they went like 8, 9. Like, I think he went. Did he go 8, 9 last year? I don't remember.
Yeah, they did. They went 8, 9.
Yeah, but no, it's like it's mainly the offense. Like Mac Jones, just like can't be trusted. Right, can't be trusted in my opinion right now. Oh, who knows? Bailey Zappi could take his place maybe later on if he's more terrible than last season. But especially their receiving core. The receiving core is, in my opinion, like bottom three. Like you got Juju, like I could basically just name Juju and Bootsy from LSU as well. But they really got nothing outside Ramondre Stevenson. He's like the best thing on the offense. And then the defense is still a solid piece. But in their division, they're obviously the worst team in my eyes. The other teams in their division got way more talent, better quarterbacks, better defenses. Debatably with one team, but I think they go 7-10, nowhere near the other teams in their division. So,
Yep. It's crazy. I actually have them at the exact same record at 7-10, in last place, of course. And I think the biggest thing that I had was like them going 0-6 in their division, which is very possible for not to happen. So like if they win a couple, there's a winning record. And I think their team is very, very, very mid on paper. I think their defense is pretty solid, but their offense is really not good. Like Mac Jones is not very good. He's so average. But, like I would say he's leaning towards below average, just because he doesn't like do anything besides like what I don't even know. It's like he's literally the definition of average. But the receiving core Juju, and it's okay. O line's nothing to write home about. But like I just said, defense I think can win them some games. But I think like it's the same case as the Titans for me. There's just too many good teams in the AFC for them to have a chance. And Bill Belichick, honestly, with this performance, might get fired because I heard rumors he's on the hot seat. Maybe he'll retire. But I don't know. I feel like I said, just the AFC is too good, and for that reason, I had to put them at 7-10. I was trying to look at their record real quick just to see anything, or not the record, the schedule. I had them winning some upsets too. Like Saints, they have a lot of back and like 50-50 games. Like Cowboys, I had them winning. The Saints, I had them winning. Raiders, obviously, but then I had them losing just every division game, and that's pretty much the biggest reason that they're 7-10 for me.
All right. Fair. I can agree. I also have the Patriots here at last place in the AFC East, but it's just a record below you guys. I have them going 6-11. I think the Pats. I mean, it's just the offense is just there's not a lot to like about the offense at all, really. I mean, Mac Jones is. I'm not a Mac Jones believer at all. I mean, I think he's average. I just think he's also leaning towards below average, like Matthew said. I just don't think he's not a quarterback to hyped about. The receiving core is also not good at all. I mean, Juju is not bad, but is he really a nice number one option to have on your team? Us Steeler fans can tell you that didn't work out so well. And also Keyshawn Butte. I mean, he could be good. He could be something, but I mean, again, a rookie. And with this current offense that the Patriots are in, I just don't see him really succeeding right away. The offensive line is hit or miss a lot of games. Ramondre Stevenson's a good back to have. He's probably the best player on that offense, you could argue. I think Zeke's a nice red zone presence to have, but he's not the Zeke he used to be his rookie year. That Zeke is far gone. And overall, that offense is just, it's not good. And I don't think it will be good at all this year. Yeah, Mac Jones has Bill O'Brien as his offensive coordinator. They do have familiarity there. But again, such a very competitive division they're in, competitive conference. I just think there's much better offenses than them, way more explosive, and the Pats are just so mid. Their defense, however, is not mid. I think their defense is very good, in fact. I think Matthew Judon is a really good player. I think Kyle Duggar is underrated. So I think the Pats have some nice pieces on defense to like, but I think their offense is just so underwhelming that it's going to bring the team down in general. And looking at the Patriots' schedule, it's not really that friendly to them, if we're being honest. I think, look at it. They start off with the Eagles, not a good matchup at all. Then they got the Dolphins the very next week. The Dolphins have a very good history against the Patriots. And then they got the Jets. Then they got the Cowboys. And it's just not a good start for them at all. It's just really not. So I have the Pats at last place.
Yep. That's fair.
All right. Third place, Prime.
Now, I don't know how surprising this is going to be. It could change depending on if Jonathan Taylor goes to the team. But I have the Dolphins at third place at 9-8. Now, the reason why I have them at 9-8, because for one is the defense. I mean, that's like the main factor to me, because they do have a good defense. Don't get me wrong, but Jalen Ramsey, he's scheduled to miss like the first 7 weeks of the season. I feel that's going to take a big factor into how they win or lose the games. Xavier Howard, he's not bad, but he's getting up there in age. I don't think he's that same guy, and I think he's going to have a big decline. That's for starters. Their offense is good. If Tua can be healthy, I feel like they could be dangerous. But it's mainly the defense aspect, and I feel like the Jets and the Bills are better teams in their division. But that's just mainly the main reason why I just have them at 9-8 is mainly because of their defense. I feel like it's just gonna be like in and like going at an inconsistent phase. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah,
That's completely fair.
yeah. It's probably gonna be just first hot take. At third place, I have the Buffalo Bills.
Oh damn!
At 10-7. And
Oh shit!
oh my god. I don't know if I should say this or not, but they're at the 8th seed. They missed the playoffs in my predictions.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is hot.
Whoa.
I know.
This is hot.
Shit.
I think I'll talk about it. I think the biggest reason for me is because, I don't think, it's not going to factor into his play, but I think Diggs is going to get, like, even more angry. He's denied the rumors, but, like, I think he's going to eventually want out. I think that the offensive line is not good. We saw the starters versus us, and sure, our D-line's great and everything, but from Bills fans, I've heard their offensive line's terrible. I don't expect Josh Allen to have, like, a superstar MVP season. I think he'll have, sure, top 10 season, but I don't think it'll be, like, as good as other years we've seen from him, like 2021 or 2020. Even last year was not, like, elite or anything, but it was, but, like, not MVP, you know what I'm saying? But 2021, Josh Allen was great, and I don't think it'll be at that level. And like I said, their division's absolutely stacked. I still have them going 4-2 in their division, but it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think their schedule is really tough. They have, like, hold on. It'll tell me how many playoff teams they face. Yeah, they face 10 playoff teams in my predictions, and they win 5 of them. So it really comes down to that, their schedule being super hard. And I think on paper, I like the other two teams, barring injuries, of course. I like the other two teams' rosters more than the Bills currently. I think their defense, it'll be great, of course, once Von Miller's back, but without him, I think it could be shaky at times against really good offenses. And I don't think their offense will be able to do enough, especially because they don't have a great running back or anything. That's one problem they've had. James Cook and I guess they signed Damian Harris. They still want to go by committee. I think if they had like a Jonathan Taylor type running back, they'd be really unstoppable. But they don't, and their offensive line, like I just said, it's not good enough anyway. And yeah, their secondary is really solid with Trey White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. They have good linebackers. They've lost Tremaine Edmonds, but they still have Matt Milano. They have DeMar Hamlin, who's not going to do shit this year, respectfully. He's going to win Comeback Player of the Year because all he has to do is play one snap, obviously, due to what happened. And I'm not hating on that or anything. I'm just saying, I don't know why I just felt like saying DeMar Hamlin. But, their D-line's okay. Rousseau is solid. But I think it's another factor of this, the AFC being too good, and us being Steeler fans, not many people overall in the media are going to expect the Steelers to make the playoffs. But, like, if hypothetically they do, one of these massive teams like Chargers, Bills, Dolphins, or Ravens, one of them is going to have to miss the playoffs, if not multiple, if they were to make it. And obviously I think we might all have them make the playoffs. So one of these teams that I just mentioned are going to at least miss in your guys' playoffs predictions. So I feel like, for me, it was just the Bills.
Wow. Okay.
It's interesting.
I'll be honest. I did not. That is a very hot take, but that's what we live for. So, I can kind of agree with you, but I'll get into my about the Bills when we get there. Third place, I have the same thing as Prime. I have the Miami Dolphins here. I have them going 8-9. The Dolphins are just a very confusing team in a lot of ways. Let's start with the offense. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, best receiver duo in the league. I don't think we can argue that. But I will say this. There's a big problem at the quarterback position. Tua, he's shown that he can be good, but he's also shown that he can also be very injured at times and very injury prone. That's his problem. Tua cannot stay healthy at all. He got hurt 3 times last year in the same season. Think about that. 3 times. That's at some point, what is enough going to be enough? Because at some point, this is going to have an effect on Tua's health, even if it hasn't already. Because there's been talks about Tua maybe retiring if he suffers another severe injury, which honestly, I don't want this to happen, obviously. You don't want people to get hurt or suffer crazy injuries, but Tua's been very unlucky. He has just been very unlucky. And I don't know if his luck is going to change anytime soon, to be honest. I think that with Miami's O-line, which is okay, but they're not that good, Terran Armstead has proven that he can be injury-prone, and he hasn't really been able to stay healthy for a full season in about like 2 to 3 years. And I just don't think I think with Tua out, I think the Dolphins' offense is just not really a threat anymore. That's just my worry because Tua has just not proven that he can be a healthy guy for them. And then to the defense, they're also going to be without Jalen Ramsey for a couple of weeks to start the season. And in a very competitive AFC conference and division, which the Dolphins are in right now, you can't afford to have guys like that out. You just can't. And I think Xavier Howard, he's okay. He's still good, but he's not what he once was. And I think with him getting older, I think he's going to slowly decline. I think Javon Holland's a good player. I think that's a guy to be excited about. But other than that, the Dolphins are they're just so average to below average to me. There's just not really much excitement about this team. If they get Jonathan Taylor, however, I do think maybe things might change. But again, I just don't know if I can trust Tua. I just don't know.
Damn.
All right, Prime second.
Second, I have the New York Jets at 10-7. Now, for the Jets here, obviously you got Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback. Like the thing in mind, the reason why I'm going 10-7, even though they do have a top 5 defense in my eyes, it's just the thing that how the Jets are. Like the Jets just being the Jets, they can manage to find a way to a playoff spot, or they can fall out of a playoff spot. So, they're gonna be good. They look very good on offense. Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall. I mean, a little shaky about Breece Hall coming off a torn ACL injury. You just got Dalvin Cook, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson proved he could be a stud in this league. And then their defense, Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead, Adrian Amos, CJ Mosley, and so on. I feel like the defense is just insane. I feel like bad coaching can lead this team to a downfall. But, with Aaron Rodgers at the helm and how the Jets were, the Jets could have easily managed to get to the playoffs if their offense and Zach Wilson was just actually good, But no, not with a better quarterback. No, just have them slightly over the jump at a winning record at 10-7. But I mean, I'm gonna get into how the playoff seeding is gonna be in a little bit. But 10-7 is just my prediction. No, nothing else about it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So at second place for me in the AFC East, I have the Dolphins at 12-5. What I didn't want to do was predict based on potential injuries that could happen. If Tua gets hurt again, I fully agree that they'd be around 8-9 or 9-8. However, I just predicted based on if he was somehow managed to be healthy for at least 85% of the season, and I think that Tua healthy. I mean, you have to remember when they started the year very strong, undefeated for a few weeks until Tua got hurt, and then they lost to Cincinnati. But Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, it's borderline unguardable. If they get Jonathan Taylor, I think it's GG's pretty much. I don't like Tua that much. Don't get me wrong. It's just compared to what else they have. I think he's on their roster. Compared to their backup is what can get them, over the hump. Similar to not similar. I'm saying last year, Skylar Thompson could not get the job done. Obviously, and then I think if they had Tua, I think they beat the Bills in that playoff game. I do, because the Bills played really poorly, and I think Tua, being their quarterback, would have been able to get the win. And I think if he plays his full season, sure he's gonna have some struggles, but overall I don't think it's nearly anywhere as bad as Skylar or I forget who they're Mike White. I think they signed. So yeah, I feel like with him, I like their defense. Bradley Chubb Christian Wilkins, great on the front seven. I don't think Jalen Ramsey's gonna be out like super long to the point where it's like double digit weeks or anything. I think he'll still be able to make a great impact. Xavier Howard, I don't love him as a corner one anymore. I think he'll be dominant in a CB2 role once Jalen Ramsey's back. He's still a serviceable CB1, but he gets cooked at times. Javon Holland, like Ponda said, is actually phenomenal. We witnessed it firsthand last year. Kenny Pickett, gave it to him once or twice. Yeah. Who else do they have? They have what's his name? Jerome Baker, I think his name is. He's a good linebacker, he's a tackle machine. And overall, I really like him. I was trying to remember if they got another. I was gonna talk about the running backs without Jonathan Taylor. They have Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. It's just pretty much the same boat there as the Bills, like a running back committee that's really not very good, like individually. Like if they get Jonathan Taylor, bro, they could become Super Bowl contenders just like that, and they're a real possibility. Like it could happen within a week. The rumors are it's down to them offering a serious offer and like one anonymous team, I should say, and I guess we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I just really like the Dolphins as a roster with Tua healthy, and for that reason, I put them at 12-5.
That's fair. I mean, I can understand.
Like only if Tua is fully healthy, though. If not, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, again, like when they're healthy, they are a pretty dynamic offense.
Yeah.
It's just I cannot trust Tua. I'm sorry, I just cannot. But okay, so to my second place in the AFC East, I have the Buffalo Bills at 11-6. I thought Matthew made some very interesting points that I think is a very hot take. Some that I somewhat agree with, but I still think the Buffalo Bills are good enough to get to the playoffs because I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, I think they're still a very good duo, and Stephon Diggs I don't think is going to get traded this year. I think he's going to stay in Buffalo. He denied the rumors, so I think it's going to be fine. I think he'll be all right, and I still think they're going to be as dominant as they were the past couple years. I don't see that changing. I think, I think James Cook is going to take a step forward. I think I like what I've seen from James Cook based on the clips I've seen from Bills pages that I follow. So I think that's going to be an interesting player to watch. I don't think their O-line's good at all. I think their O-line could use some serious work. I do think that is a cause of concern in a lot of ways, considering Josh Allen does run a lot. But I don't think their O-line is bad to the point where it's going to be bottom 3 bad. I think it's just going to be kind of like below average to maybe average. That's what I think the Bills' offensive line stands at right now. And I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be a nice weapon for them. He's been really good from what I've heard. So I think that's just another weapon for Josh Allen to have. And then going to the defense side, I mean, the defense is, it's good. I think they got, Tre'Davious White. I think now with a full offseason of recovery after an injury-riddled year last year, I think he's going to go back to the Tre'Davious White that we all know. I think Kyer Elam could take a step forward. I think, Damar Hamlin coming back, I think, is nice. I mean, before he suffered that, tragic incident, I thought he was an okay safety for them. They got Matt Milano, a very good, serviceable linebacker. And overall, I just think the Bills, again, with Von Miller coming back, that will be nice for them, too. I think the Bills are still good enough to get to the playoffs. They're definitely not Super Bowl contenders. I'm not trusting them anymore because they choke a lot. And that is why I am not trusting them like that. But I do think they are good enough for the playoffs, just because of how dynamic and explosive they are.
Yeah, I think they're good enough to make. It's just like I'm not gonna like leak all my predictions, but I will say I have the Steelers making playoffs. Okay, and there's 3 very solid teams, or like not 3, I guess 2 very solid teams that don't make it if that happens, and it's just
we'll save that for later.
Yeah. We'll save that for later when we get there. We don't want to spoil.
Yeah, I think they very well could make playoffs. Is what I'm saying.
This is just what I believe.
Yeah.
All right, Prime. Who do you got in first place?
First place, the Buffalo Bills at 12-5. The reason why, I feel like outside the O-line, I feel like the only thing that would stop the Bills is if the man curse was to go into play, which I obviously hope that doesn't happen for them. But you know, obviously Josh Allen and the Bills, they've been running the AFC East for the past 2 3 years. Obviously still got Diggs. I think James Cook is going to take a big leap. I feel like Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox could be a solid tight end duo right there. As for the defense, Von Miller coming back, that should help him a lot. I feel like he still has a little bit left in the tank. Matt Milano's good, obviously. I think Trey Davis White has a bounce back season. I feel like Dane Jackson can step it up a little bit too for the secondary. And then obviously you got Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Oh no, back healthy. They should help that defense a bit as well. And also prayers to DeMar Hamlin. Glad he's back in the team. But it's just mainly Josh Allen and the offense and Sean McDermott with the coaching as the Bills being a very much offensive threat, and not just their division, but the whole AFC and the NFL in general. So that's just my take on it. I feel like Josh Allen, who's been, like I said, running that division for the past couple years, I don't see it stopping this upcoming season. So
It's fair. I mean, there's a world I could see the Bills being first place. It's just I don't know. I feel like they've had their window, and I feel like it's like not closing, but like they're gonna have to take a step back to go steps forward, and that's why I put them in third. And for me in first place at 13-4, I have the New York Jets.
Holy shit, same.
Great, because I think the Jets are one of, if not the most complete team in the NFL. Quarterback, let's just use logic here, and it's the same with us for T.J. Watt, but for the Jets having absolute garbage quarterback play last year with Joe Flacco, who is the reason the Steelers missed playoffs last year. Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, fucking Chris Streveler, if anyone knows who that is.
Mike White.
Yeah, Mike White, who was probably their best, honestly. If they had at least like an average quarterback, they would have made the playoffs and probably would have made it comfortably. Not like an elite record or anything, but like with a sense that they wouldn't have had to been fighting in Week 18 for that spot. And now they have Aaron Rodgers, who, yeah, sure, he had a down year last year, but I think that he's, compared to what they had last year, an absolute like demon. Like, he's a god compared to what they had last year. I think he's still gonna be a top 10 quarterback, which is honestly way exceeding what the Jets needed last year to make the playoffs. And you take that with, I think, Breece Hall, sure, off the ACL. Dalvin Cook is a very capable running back, one if he has to be, and in a role where he can share carries with Breece Hall. That's fantastic. Even I like Michael Carter. I think he'd be a great running back on other teams. He just happens to be the third best on the Jets. Even their rookie from Pitt, I've seen him enough since I am from Pittsburgh. Izzy, like Abanconda, whatever his name is, he's solid too. He would get more playing time on a different team. Even Zonovan Knight just got cut, and people saying he's a good running back, but the room was so crowded. The receiving core, Garrett Wilson, I expect him to have an absolute monster year, like 1,400 yards, like 10 plus touchdowns. And he's going to probably, hopefully, with Aaron Rodgers, solidify himself as a top 10 to 15 receiver in the NFL. Then they have Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, Aaron Rodgers' former teammates. I think the chemistry with them is already great. They are sure just joining the Jets this year, but that's, even great additions for them. They also added Mecole Hardman, who's very electric with his speed, and if they use him right, he can make very, very big splash plays for them. And then at tight end, they have Tyler Conklin, who's fairly reliable, and they also have C.J. Uzomah, who's more of a faster tight end who can get bigger plays, and we saw that with the Bengals, unfortunately. Their O-line is probably the weakest part of their team. However, I don't think it's bad by any means. Mekhi Becton, Dwayne Brown, Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't know if he's gonna start right away or not, but they drafted a center, Joe Tippmann, who's very solid. And yeah, they're very capable of holding it down. And their defense, you guys said, I think top 5 in the league. Like Sauce and DJ Reed is an absolutely phenomenal corner duo. Their safeties, I kind of forget, like Jordan Whitehead, I think, and I forget
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's their other one. If you guys know, I'm not sure.
Just had,
Like they also have Bryce Hall as a corner.
What's his name? LaMarcus Joyner, I think.
They did have him. He picked us off last year. I don't know if they still have him or not. But the point
gotta
is, yeah, the point is. Oh no, the Amos stuff.
Yeah, Amos. I sent
Yeah. And so he also came over from Green Bay, and he's solid. And then linebackers, you get C.J. Mosley, and then there's definitely more. I'm just forgetting. I'm blanking. But on the D line, Quinnen Williams is an absolute monster, and I think him alone is capable of getting double-digit sacks easily. He's a very, very big presence on the D line. And I just think they have a lot of depth. Like, even if an injury were to happen, the kicker's Greg Zuerlein. He's not very good, but who cares? But yeah, I just think compared to the rest of the entire league, and especially in their division, they're the most complete team with the most depth, and that's why I have them at 13-4. Their schedule to start the year is actually crazy. It's Bills week 1, Cowboys week 2, Patriots week 3, and Chiefs week 4. I had them going 3-1 that stretch. But it's very possible that they go 2-2 or even 1-3 in that stretch, and then still come out to be a solid team. But that start to the year is just crazy. But nonetheless, 13-4 is my record for the Jets, and if I expect them to live up to it.
Yeah. As I said earlier, I have the Jets at 13-4, winning the East this year too.
I'm getting a phone call.
But it's pretty much for all the same reasons that Matthew said. Aaron Rodgers statistically had his worst season last year. But if you take that season and you put it into that last year's Jets team, that would have been good enough to put the Jets in the playoffs, because all they needed last year was just good quarterback play. And I think Aaron Rodgers last season, with what he had, that would have been good enough for them. And he's coming over now to a really good team, in my opinion. He's coming over with the reigning offensive rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson, who's going to be a stud in this league. Alan Lazard's coming over. He's already got connections with him. McCole Hardman, the speedster, who's going to be, I think, used nicely in Nathaniel Hackett's offense. And again, that's another reason. Say what you want about Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach and what his tenure was like in Denver, but him and Rodgers already have a relationship from Green Bay, so, I mean, you can't break that. And they had a pretty damn good relationship that led to successful years. So that's another thing to consider, too. And then look at the running back room. I mean, it's loaded. I mean, you got Breece Hall coming back, who was looking really good in his rookie year before he suffered a torn ACL. We don't know how ready he's going to be coming back, but I still think if he's the same talent that he was, that I think he'll be fine. And if that doesn't work, they got Dalvin Cook, who is already a proven, well-capable running back one, as he showed in Minnesota over the last couple years. So they got that if Breece Hall doesn't work out. Or if Dalvin gets hurt, I think Michael Carter is a great option to have. I think he's a very solid, reliable running back to have. And I think, as Matthew said, he could be a starter on a couple other teams if he was given that opportunity. And then rookie Israel Abonaconda was a stud at Pitt, and I think the Jets will definitely find some ways to include him in the offense because of how good he is. And overall, the offensive line, I think, is good. I think with Mekhi Becton coming back, if he was what he was his rookie year, I think Aaron Rodgers is in good hands. Elijah Vera Tucker, who's probably the best O-lineman on that team, is really good as well. Joe Tippmann, the center, was really good at Wisconsin. And then, Laken Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown are solid veteran guys to have on there. And then let's go to the defense. I mean, they also got the reigning defensive rookie of the year, Sauce Gardner, who, you could argue he's a top 5 corner, honestly. I think he's really good, and I think that's what really sparked the Jets last year was the motivation and just kind of the swag and energy he brought, which is what I think the Jets are going to need this year, and I think Sauce will provide that. And then the defensive line, it's not great, but I mean, it's highlighted by one of the top 3 defensive tackles in the league in Quinnen Williams, who I think is going to go for double-digit sacks. They already locked him up, so they don't got to worry about contract negotiations. Carl Lawson could be good if he could stay healthy. John Franklin Myers is serviceable. And then C.J. Mosley highlighting the linebacker position. So this Jets team, I think, will live up to expectations this year, and I'm very excited to see what they do, hence why I have them winning the division.
It's a W.
So, yeah, that's going to conclude the AFC East. Matthew gave us a very interesting take on the Bills that not much people would probably agree
It's gonna
with.
be on the TikTok when it comes like semi-true, and it's gonna be cool. I'm just saying.
I mean, it might be. We're not going to deny that. But, yeah, we're going to move on now. And we're going to move on to our beloved division, the AFC North, which happens to feature a team in there that we all dearly love.
All right.
So,
So
you go ahead.
4th place.
let's start it off. Browns, 4th place. I got them going 7-10. Here's why. Like I said, the Browns, they're very much talented. For a lot of people, in eyes, they upgraded a lot. They got Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones proved he could be a solid option. You still got Amari Cooper at least. They're losing Kareem Hunt during free agency, but still got Nick Chubb. You got Deshaun Watson back. If Deshaun can be himself like he was with the Texans, that could be a dangerous sight. But as of now, from what we've seen there in preseason, especially the reports and some of the memes, he hasn't looked that good. The defense is not bad, but I feel like he's gonna be very shaky. Outside Denzel Ward, I'm still not too good on the secondary. They obviously have Myles Garrett on the defensive line, of course, but the Browns are the Browns. They're gonna fumble their way up. Like they could be like 5-2, then finish the season like fucking 8-9, shit like that. So just basically the Browns are the Browns. If Watson could be good, they could fight for like the 3rd place spot maybe, but like I don't see it happening. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. 4th place, I had the Browns. My record for them is 8-9. However, the biggest thing for me, they have a really solid roster overall. I'll give them that. But I don't think Deshaun is that guy anymore. I understand it's going to be his first full season for them, since he likes to touch women. But okay, that was crazy. But I mean, based on what I've seen, like it was his like 6th or 7th game at the end of the year versus us, and he looked really bad. And KZ owned him. Ogunjobi owned him.
Wallace owned him.
Yeah, Levi Wallace. But even just not talking about that,
KZ.
Compared to the rest of the league, like I've said, I don't think they're a top half of the league team. I get they're the 10 seed for me in the AFC, which isn't terrible or anything, but in a stacked conference like this, it's hard to expect them to make it. The biggest thing in these predictions, looking at the stats, I had them at 1-8 against playoff teams. So if they were to win a couple of those, they could be close to contention. And I had them 1-5 against the division, and if they go even 500 in there, they could very well be close, if not in the playoffs. It's just at the end of the day, the biggest thing is, I don't want to say the Browns are the Browns, but they are, bro, because and also I want to talk about their coaching. I understand he was one coach of the year before. I don't love Kevin Stefanski. He makes questionable moves at times, and I think he could be holding them back. I hope for our sake that they keep him for 10 years, but I think he's also not necessarily a liability, but someone who is holding them back from their full potential. But the biggest reason is Deshaun Watson. If we're talking about the roster, Nick Chubb, honestly, in my opinion, the best running back in the league. I don't know why they don't use him more like Derrick Henry-esque. They just traded for Pierre Strong, who's not terrible as a rookie, I think. Lost Kareem Hunt, but I don't know why they didn't use him more receiving-wise. Amari Cooper's there. He owned Akella Witherspoon last year. They also just traded for Elijah Moore, who's gonna be great for them. The Jets didn't use him too much. I think the Browns got a good trade with him. Njoku's a really fun tight end. Their O-line's solid. Their defense, Myles Garrett, who is honestly to me becoming overrated. That's bias, of course, but I still think he's obviously like a top 3 or 4 edge rusher in the whole league. It's just what people are saying he is and what he will be is just crazy to me. But Denzel Ward's great. Greg Newsom's solid. The linebackers, I think they still have like Anthony Walker, and their defense is very solid, but I think it's beatable. And so yeah, for all that reason, I have them at 8 and 9.
There. All right. I also have the Browns at last place 2 in this division, finishing at 10-7, just missed playoffs.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
And here's why. I obviously don't like this fucking team. I really don't, and I never will. It's not because of that. But I will give credit where credit is due. They do have a good roster. It's not bad. It's definitely not, the Browns, what it used to be a couple years ago. But I do think they have a capable roster of winning 10 games. And looking at their schedule, they definitely can, if you look at it. They do play the Bengals week 1. And if you look at the Browns' history against the Bengals, Joe Burrow has only beat that team one time. Only once.
That's true.
And he hasn't beat them in Cleveland, mind you. So you got to consider that too. In week 1, it's in Cleveland.
That's true.
And overall, just looking at these other games, then they play the Titans right after us in week 3. Then the Ravens in week 4. They've beaten the Ravens in Cleveland the past 2 years, and that trend could continue. And then just looking at it, they have very winnable games that I see them kind of choking, but at the same time, I don't, unfortunately. And I think, again, Nick Chubb, I think he's a great running back. I don't know why they don't use him more often, but I'm glad they don't, honestly. Amari Cooper's good, honestly. Elijah Moore, I think, will be good in that offense, honestly. I think the O-line is still as good as it was. I still think it's a top 5 unit in the league. I think they should have kept Kareem Hunt, keep that 1-2 punch with Chubb and Hunt. I don't know why they didn't, but I'm glad they didn't. I'm not complaining. The defense I still think is good. Myles Garrett, yeah, he's not better than TJ Watt. Fuck off for whoever thinks that. Bro. But I think Myles Garrett's still very good. I still think that doesn't, discredit that. But, he's not better than TJ Watt or a future Hall of Famer, dumbass CBS Sports. But I don't understand. I just don't really understand why, they can't win 10 games given the schedule that they have and the roster. And the secondary is also pretty good with Newsome and Denzel Ward. Juan Thornhill wasn't a bad get in the safety. Grant Delpit, I think he's still on there. I could be wrong, but he's shown kind of potential, but inconsistent at times. So the thing with the Browns is they have a good roster. That's the thing. The problem is, it's just, I don't know if I can trust Deshaun. I really don't, because he wasn't the same last year. I get he hadn't played football in a year and a half, but even then, when you're getting paid all that money, and when you come as as a top 5 quarterback as advertised, and when you have that talent, you got to justify that contract. You just have to. And Deshaun in no way, shape, or form did that last year. And I don't know if he can with the Kevin Stefanski offense. I really don't. Because Kevin Stefanski, ever since he won Coach of the Year, he hasn't really been that Coach of the Year candidate still. I think he's still been very shaky at times, made very baffling decisions, and it's the Browns. I mean, that's just what they're known for. So I have them going 10-7 and missing the playoffs.
That's fair. I'm curious to see how the rest of your division is since they're 10-7. But yeah, that's fair enough.
All right, third place Prime, go for it. Prime time?
No. I'm gonna give the Ravens credit where credit is due. John Harbaugh, very good coach. Only had one season in the past 15 years, and that one season came in 2021 when Lamar missed the rest of the 9 games. And then apparently Lamar missed damn near half the season last year, and they still managed to find a way to hit like the 6-7 seed in the playoffs last season. only to lose to the Bengals. No, and now Lamar fully back healthy right now. Obviously, got the biggest contract in NFL history. He shouldn't have deserved it. He should have got paid, but not the biggest contract in my opinion. But anyway, you got OBJ in the offseason. You drafted Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews coming back. Um, and then they got a new offense coordinator as well. Got rid of Greg Roman. And then, of course, we already know that their defense is elite as well. Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, and so on. And every season Lamar's been a starter, they made the playoffs, when he's been there. So and in my opinion, this is probably the most competitive division in football. So I still see that being the case. If being the highest paid quarterback in the league, you have to lead your team to not just to the postseason, but to go further than that. But no, I have them making the playoffs at least, sitting at 11-6 for third in division. I may have my bias going, um, getting ahead of me because of the Steelers, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But even I feel like with the new offense they have now, because the Ravens are a run first football team, and Lamar has he's improved his passing year after year. But at the same time, we don't know how this new offense is going to work. We don't know how healthy Odell is going to be in the next couple of games. Some people say he's going to get hurt midway through the season. No, hopefully that's not the case for them. Wish him the best, obviously. Don't know how Zay Flowers is going to be. Whether he's going to be the number one, the number two, going to be used in the slot a lot. So I feel like the passing is going to get in the way a little bit. And on top of that, J.K. Dobbins can't stay healthy for shit. So if he gets hurt again, that could be a little bit of issues as well. But I think also the main factor in why they may lose games as well, because as we've seen the last 2 years, when the Ravens had a good lead, especially last season, they managed to choke it, whether it's versus the Giants, whether it's versus the Dolphins, the Bills, and so on. So I feel like that could be another case for it as well. But they're obviously a good football team, obviously going to be in the playoffs in my eyes. So, but just have them third in the division for now.
Yeah, that's fair. I also have the Ravens third in the division. I have them at 10-7. To me, they're also really good, but they're one of the teams I was talking about when, if we're predicting the Steelers to make playoffs, they have to miss. They were the 9 seed for me in the AFC. And their schedule is it's kind of hard. They face 10 playoff teams, including both us and the Bengals in my predictions. But they went 4-6 in my predictions. And their start is crazy. Sure, Texans is a good, not easy, but it's a winnable game for them. Then Bengals, obviously I had the Bengals win, but then Colts, you get that out of the way. Then it's Browns, who, as Ponder said, Browns beat them in the past 2 years at home. Then it's us at home. Titans give them trouble a lot. Then the Lions, who I think are going to be very good fun. We'll talk about them. But in that stretch, it's just tough. There's a lot of 50-50 games in there, and I know I said I wasn't going off of injuries, and I still ain't. I'm still not. But Lamar could get hurt. It's just if history repeats itself. He's been hurt the past couple years, and has been a reason they kind of fell off towards the end of the season. And actually, I should have talked about this. Their last 4 games of the season are Jags, 49ers, Dolphins, and us. That's insane. And I have them going 1-3 in that stretch, and that's what makes them miss the playoffs. And they're a team known to choke. Not even I guess not in this case games, but the actual schedule, the Final Four, to not miss the playoffs. And in this situation, when the AFC is this good, they have to just be one of the teams that miss. Their defense is phenomenal. Roquan Smith being on their team actually pisses me off because of how good he is. Marlon Humphrey's very solid. Thankfully, they lost Calais Campbell, who's been annoying, and Justin Houston. But Marcus Williams is a good safety. And their offense, as Prime mentioned, Zay Flowers, I think is going to have a bigger impact than people, I guess, are expecting or talking about. Odell, I'm not overly concerned about as a Steelers fan, but I'm still gonna give him credit and say that he can be a good factor for them. Mark Andrews is a top 3 tight end in the NFL. Their O line, it's nothing like top like top three or anything like that. But they have Tyler Linderbaum, who I think is a really good interior lineman, and Ronnie Stanley, who's one of the best tackles in football. And their running backs, you got Lamar Jackson, who's a solid running back, but J.K. Dobbins, injury prone but does well. But then you also have Gus Edwards, who for some reason just always owns the Steelers. And yeah, their roster is really good. And same with Prime. I agree. John Harbaugh is a very good coach. It's just crazy. Like, it's crazy talking about these teams that are missing the playoffs. Like, for me, the Bills and the Ravens. If the Steelers were to make it, and that's just the scenario we live in. And I think once we actually talk about the Steelers, we will give a fair explanation as to why we think it's going to happen. But I had to have the Ravens at 10-7 and miss the playoffs.
All right. That's completely fair. And I also have the Ravens here at third place as well. I have them making the playoffs as the 7th seed at 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
I just think with the Ravens here is, they have a good roster. They really do. They finally ended that whole Lamar contract saga. They gave him the highest paid contract, which I don't agree with at all, as Prime said. But they had to pay him somehow, and I guess it's the only way they had to. But I don't agree with it. And I think he'll somewhat justify it with just how electrifying he is with his legs. But he has proven the past two seasons that he cannot be healthy towards the end of the year, and that's kind of where teams need their starting quarterbacks the most, and Lamar has not been available to them. So, that's another thing to consider as well. But I think another thing that really what Raven fans are going to like and what's really going to change the Ravens as a team in whole is that Greg Roman is not there anymore. They have Todd Monken now as their offensive coordinator, and I think that's kind of a good thing for them. Not a good thing for us, unfortunately, but I think Todd Monken's going to now allow Lamar to kind of do his thing as a passer now, which is what Ravens, kind of want in him. They got the weapons now for him. Odell, maybe he rebounds himself after missing kind of a whole year due to injury concerns and kind of using that offseason to rest and get healthy for whatever team wants to sign him. And they also drafted Zay Flowers, who I had as one of my top receiving prospects coming into the draft. And I think he'll come as advertised, unfortunately, with his speed. Rashad Bateman's coming back as well. He was pretty nice for them. Mark Andrews, top 3 tight end. Their O-line it's not great. It's not like unstoppable or anything. But I do think Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum, as Matthew said, are good pieces to have. Their running game is really what the Ravens excel at, and they always kill us with it, and it pisses me off every time. Gus Edwards destroys us. J.K. Dobbins, we kind of contained him, but he still had a couple nice runs on us, but he can't stay healthy, so that's another concern. And he's also kind of, from what I've heard in rumors, is that he's not been happy with his contract negotiations, so we'll see how that ends up, unfolding. And then the defense, it's probably, what to like about them the most, I guess. They got Marlon Humphrey highlighting that secondary, one of the top corners in the league. They have Rock Ya-Sin now, who they signed. Arthur Millette, fuck you. And they also have Kyle Hamilton, who's shown potential, and he got better as the season progressed, so that's another player to look out for. And Marcus Williams, who I think is a really underrated player. And, of course, Roquan Smith, which I absolutely do not like at all. And that's pretty much, the Ravens as a team. That's why I think they'll be good enough to get into the playoffs. And Prime brought up a really good point that I liked and that I was going to say, is that every time Lamar's been the starter, they've made the playoffs, and I think that trend continues just because of how well coached and I guess well organized you could say the team is.
Yep.
All right.
God.
Bro,
I'm not leaving. I just realized it's 11. My first day of school is tomorrow. It's fucked, but is there any way we could go slightly faster?
No, you will. Here's the thing. Here's what we'll do. If we have the same teams like at where we do, we don't have to, all of us don't have to give a.
That's fair.
So I'm assuming all of us have the Steelers here at second, right?
Yep.
All right. So Prime, why don't you just speak for it since you're first?
All right. Had the Steelers second place in the division. I have them going 11-6.
Good.
Now, guys, for starters, Obviously, Steelers haven't had a losing season since 2003. People always sleep on us for some reason. I don't know why. And another thing is that even though it's been preseason, Kenny Pickett has looked good. GP is going to be a stud. Deontay, he's going to have a bounce back. Najee Warren is a good 1-2 punch. Pat Freiermuth is a top 7 tight end in the league in my eyes. Offensive line looks better, depth wise. And then the defense, obviously, top 5, top 7 defense, and however you want to put it. We got the best safety in the league in Minka, in my eyes. The best edge rusher in TJ, in my eyes. And so, obviously, we went 1-6 without TJ last season. Went even to with him, obviously. When this team is healthy, we're obviously a playoff lock in my eyes. And I feel like we're gonna have the same record as the Ravens, but I feel like we're gonna win more games in the division. So I have a sweep in the Browns. That's just me personally. I have a sweep in the Browns. So I don't think we're as good as the Bengals. Obviously because they've been in the AFC Championship the past couple of years. But I feel like we can make the playoffs and hopefully give one team a run for their money. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't got much to say. You kind of said it perfectly, and I really think people are sleeping on us this year. That's all I'm gonna say. I think
yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
No, you're good. I think people are just gonna be really shocked this year when we come as advertised, which I think we will.
Yeah, I just don't know why people aren't using logic and understanding. Like, we went 9-8 with under the circumstances we had, and then we got like 10 times better. So I just don't. And an easier schedule. I just don't understand the logic of people, like even ESPN saying we're declining. Like, what does this mean? I don't get it.
It's bullshit. It makes no sense.
Hatred.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do want to say, though, is look at the past 2 years where we've had 9 wins. Look at what's happened early in the season. Because I've noticed this as a pattern. TJ Watt has gotten hurt the past 2 years in week 2. And it's kind of interesting to think about that because look at the games he's missed, we've lost. And just imagine if TJ Watt could stay healthy at the start of the season. Just imagine what that could do for us and how much of a difference that makes.
Another thing as well is that the last time we made the playoffs, which is in 2021, we basically made the playoffs just alone off of TJ Watt. Because I mean, it was a down year for Minka. That's just my eyes. But TJ Watt, led the league in sacks leader, tied the record, should have been broken. They rigged it. But anyway, defensive player of the year for a reason. And obviously when we don't have TJ Watt, we apparently can't win games. We just look lost on the football field. So with that being said, obviously he's projected to lead the league in sacks when he's healthy. Another defensive player of the year candidate as we speak. And like I said, when he's healthy, this team is dangerous, especially for the defense. So that's just one thing.
That's what I'm saying. If he could just stay healthy at the start of the season, it makes such a big difference. In the last 2 years, that's what we've missed. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And of course, first place, I mean, the Bengals. I mean,
wait, hold on. What's the record y'all got for the Steelers?
Oh, I have them
6.
Oh, 11-6, I bet.
Yeah.
I have 12-5, but
hey, that's fair. Let's get it.
I mean, hey, call me biased, but I think we're gonna be really fucking good.
Nah, you're not biased.
It's just it feels
but you know what I mean, guys.
I don't want to be like overly confident because last year, I mean, I doubted us every single game, but like I don't know, I'm actually confident this year.
I'm confident. I have them at 6, like, because one part of me, like, I don't want to be biased, and then the other part of me, I'm like, it's always that trap game. The Steelers just struggle to beat, or we just like end up losing. I'm like, oh shit, all right, let me just mark this as a loss because it happens every single year, no matter how you put it. The year we won 13-3 with the Killer Bees, we lost to the fucking Bears. Like, come on now.
But yeah, it happens. But as you guys can tell, we're excited about this team, and we think we're gonna surprise people. If you hate on us, fuck you. Go die in a hole. But anyways, all right. Anyways, don't actually do that, but you get the point. So, first place in the AFC North, of course, we have the fucking Bungles.
13-4, I got them.
I have them 12-5.
I'm tied with the Steelers record-wise at 11-6. I just have
Yeah, that's what I have too. It's just the
yeah.
Bengals. I mean,
Tiebreaker is I think winning more in the conference.
exactly. And I mean, again, the Bengals are just a really good team now. Unfortunately, that receiving core is ridiculous. Jamar Chase is not fair to go up against at all. Their defense is kind of underrated. It's really helped them out the past couple of years. People have not talked about them. But, I mean, of course, the Bengals are the Bengals. I mean, of course, Hugh Iron God's going to be really excited about that. But their offense is just literally not fair to go up against.
Young Dak.
Okay, and you're getting canceled. But, all right. So, that's going to conclude the AFC conference.
You forgot the AFC West,
yeah, we
buddy.
didn't do the AFC West.
Motherfucker.
We can speed run it if you want.
Oh, no, it's fine. They completely slipped my mind. But, yeah, we'll go with the AFC West now. Sorry about that.
All right, AFC West. Sorry, Ivy. I got the Raiders last at 6-11.
Same.
No. So the Raiders have so much talent. Josh Jacobs, obviously coming back from for a contract year. After being held out for the past couple of weeks, they got Devontae Adams, and but like key pieces, you lost Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow is a questionable. Like he could be more on a decline, because he had a pretty bad year last season. And then you got Jimmy G, and who's probably a way more downgraded version of Derek Carr. And then their defense is just inconsistent as usual. And plus, going against teams like the Chargers and the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, obviously, it's not a good look for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got the Raiders here too at 6-11. Matthew, do you?
I have them at 5-12, but yeah, last place.
But we all have the Raiders here. Don't need to say much. Prime kind of set it in stone. I mean, team's just not very good. It's just they're going through a phase right now. The defense is kind of what really brings them down. That secondary is kind of bad. And, the D-line's good with Max Crosby, but other than that, there's not much to like about this team at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Third place, I got the Broncos at 7-10. Now, I know Russ has been a winning quarterback for majority of his career, but wasn't the same Russ. I know obviously all of it wasn't his fault, but at the same time, we saw a little bit of a decline. Having that type of contract, only for Geno to show up and lead the Seahawks to a playoff spot. But anyways, and now that Jerry Jeudy is hurt, he might miss damn it half the season. So the offense has just been inconsistent. Javonte Williams hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. Sean Payton is there, but their defense is the one bright spot. Patrick Surtain, probably a top 5 corner in this league in my eyes. But just not much to say about it. They're not better than the Chargers or the Chiefs, and then there's just too much loaded talent in the AFC. So, yeah.
Yeah. I got them at 7-10 too. I don't think Sean Payton's going to make much of a difference just because I think Russ is really not the same player he was. I think he's getting older now. And I think with maybe Sean Payton helps a bit. Who knows? But now they're going to lose Jerry Jeudy for a good bit, and that's not going to help. Their defense is good. Surtain's obviously great, but he's not going to do it by himself. And just the Broncos are I just don't think they're going to be that great with Sean Payton as their new coach.
Yeah. I just have them at 8-9. I think their defense is really good enough to win them some games, and then I think compared to Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach, Sean Payton blows him out of the water. So for that reason, I have 8-9.
And then second place, the Kansas City not playing.
All right, second place got the Chargers. I got them going 10-7,
Same.
and I have them being the 7th seed in the AFC.
Same. I have 7 as well.
Oh wow, shit.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I do have the Chargers at second place, but I have them at 8-9.
Whoa! Wait. Actually, I can understand
I understand it because you had the AFC North so high, but damn.
I can say I can understand it because the Chargers are known to be inconsistent.
Yeah.
And Brandon Staley is not a good coach, but at the same time, Herbert, this is Herbert and Austin Eckler. And their defense got better. So
let me just say this. After last year, as a guy who predicted the Chargers to do big things last year, And I mean big things
I
such as
told you not to do it.
winning the division and fucking going all the way to the AFC Conference Championship. That team has now completely lost all my trust.
I
So,
told you not to do it.
so to the
I tried to tell
members and to the team of the Los Angeles Chargers, fuck you, and I will not be trusting you guys ever again. And I have them going 8-9, not because of that, obviously. I was still pretty pissed at that though. The contract of J.C. Jackson does not look great right now. I get he was hurt last year, but when he did play, he was not good at all. He got cooked by a Chiefs practice squad receiver, I remember, in Dustin Watson. So that wasn't nice. The Chargers, it just seems that whatever the Chargers do to fix that run defense, it never works. It never works at all. Maybe Eric Kendricks could be the guy that breaks that curse, but I don't know. He's getting up there in age. He's not the same player he once was, so I don't know. That defense just also isn't that good. Asante Samuel is a nice player. I'd probably say him and Joey Bosa are the highlights of that defense, but again, knowing their inconsistencies and the bullshit they pull, I mean, there's not much really to say about that. I also don't think Brandon Staley's a good coach. I think he's overthinks a lot of situations most of the time. That 2021 gives you a great example of that. And he also just isn't good at decision making. Look at last year when they played the Broncos. They already had a playoff spot locked up, and they played Mike Williams. Look what fucking happened.
Yep.
He got hurt, and it costed him missing the playoff game against the Jags. And I'll tell you, they could have really used Mike Williams, knowing how bad that receiving core was. So that was also a very dumb decision by Staley. He honestly should have just been fired for that decision alone. And Herbert's great. I love Justin Herbert. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I love him. But again, I think he's just in a very unlucky situation right now. I think Keenan Allen is not the same player he once was, and he's also, his future with the Chargers is not looking great as well. And I'm sorry, I don't believe in this team. I just don't.
It's fair.
All right.
But yeah, me
First,
and Prime
we
both.
don't need to explain at all,
Yeah.
if I'm being
Me
real.
and Prime both have them at 7 seed and 10-7, but I just had them. I think the reason they had the nod over the Ravens and Bills for me, it was actually head to head. I had the Chargers beating both the Ravens and the Bills.
Losing
and-
both.
Yeah, well, they end up well. I mean, this is probably one of my least confident predictions. I feel like the Bills could definitely beat the Chargers and shit. So, but I like the I think the biggest problem for them, aside from run defense, was their receiver room. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were too injury prone. They have a guy now, Quentin Johnston. He's a beast, and if it's just two of them stay healthy, I think that's enough weaponry for Herbert to go along with Eckler. So I really like Quentin Johnston. I think he helps them stay where they should be. So
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I think he'll be good too. It's just I think the Chargers and their history of how they love to just underperform and choke a lot, I think that continues.
yeah.
And
That's fair.
I have the Chiefs at 15-2. I don't know about you guys.
I have him 13-4.
I have him at 15-2 as well.
That's crazy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
possible.
They're just Mahomes is not fucking real. That's all I'm gonna say.
Screw him.
I have them. I mean, I have them losing a couple trap games. I have them losing to Jags. Okay. The only trap game I have them losing is the Broncos, but I have them losing to the Jags, Jets, and to the Eagles. So
I have them losing to the Jags, and I have them losing their last game of the season to the Chargers because I think they're gonna rest their
fair enough.
starters.
Fair enough.
I have them losing to the Dolphins and the Bengals.
That's the thing. If they were to lose, a Dolphins game, a Chargers game, the Jets game, Jags, a Broncos if their defense plays right, Eagles, they could be around 12-5 if it goes that down that way. It's just
Yeah,
easy.
but they've ran that division for so
I know.
long.
I'm concerned about the receiving core. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's gonna be okay. Honestly, I think it
I hope
opens up.
Tony breaks out, but
I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for guys like Sky Moore,
Rashee Rice. Yeah.
Rashid Rice. I think they're gonna be okay with Mahomes at quarterback. They'll be fine.
Yeah, and Kelsey's gonna
Plus
be better.
Pacheco and Jerry McKinnon is a
Yeah,
good
I
running
like
back
them. They're good.
punch.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
But Chiefs downfall. I'm all here for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, well, not for Mahomes since Texas Tech, but still.
Boo, his
Fuck you.
All right, on to the NFC.
USC
I
better.
guess.
Do I need to remind you of last year, Prime?
went further than your team, buddy.
Utah.
Okay, and we weren't even supposed to be good last year.
Skill issue.
Skill issue, yeah,
Having a
bullshit.
mid off.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
okay.
All right, let's get to it.
So now to the NFC, finally.
Yep.
AKA the depressing conference, but yeah, let's get started. So the first division we are going to cover is the NFC South.
Oh,
This is
okay.
an interesting one for me.
Yeah,
It is
same.
too.
Now, anyways, last place in the division got the Bucks at 5-12. It's simply. I'm not trusting Baker Mayfield. You know, we all seen the meme. Plays good, underdog story, underdog mentality. Blames wide receiver and head coaching, goes do commercial and shit. Beats terrible again. Nope, it's that same cycle basically. You know, you still got Mike, Mike Evans, you still got Chris Godwin. Rashad White I think he's gonna break out. The offensive line is terrible. Obviously, lost Ryan Johansson for the season. From what I saw yesterday or 2 days ago. And the defense is still solid, but you know, losing Jordan Whitehead a couple of years ago, we lost Sean Murphy Bunting to the Titans. Yeah, it's just pretty fall off year. And then on top of that, you know, like teams like the Falcons, the Saints, they improved, and I think the Panthers are a little bit better, you know, with Bryce Young. So yeah, I got them going 5-12.
Oh god.
I have the Bucks here at last place too.
What is your record for them?
I don't know if I want to say it, to be honest.
Bro,
Say
we
it.
might have the
Say
same.
it.
Mine's 3-14.
I have them at 1-16.
I thought mine was bad. I thought mine was bad. 3-14. Dude,
So you got them as the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I have them tied as the worst
it
team in the
feels
league.
so wrong to have them this low because their defense is solid and their receiving core is good. But like,
Yeah, well, they're about to lose their best defensive player apparently. So
who?
Devin White.
I thought they
I thought-
convinced them.
I thought it
Wait,
still got to be the
they-
Vega.
They have Vita Vea. I guess he just didn't consider him the best.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I mean, he's good, but I thought Devin White was better in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't think this team is good. I just don't.
I really
think
only
this-
have it because of the coaching and Baker. That's for me.
Yeah, I think the coaching is bad. I think Baker's not good, and certainly their other options behind him aren't good at all. I just think this team is fucking
Bro,
terrible.
If you replaced like Baker and Todd Bowles with like even Mac Jones and Bill Belichick, I think they win the division. But like, that's the crazy part.
Whoa.
I do. I think that's what's literally holding them back, and that's why I have them at 3-14,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm sorry. I just
It's
1-16. It might seem crazy. You can shit on me all you want for that, but I just don't think this team is good at all.
I agree.
That's fair.
So, third place.
Oh yeah, third place got the Panthers at 6-11.
Oh my God, you're gonna be interested with mine.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Who do you have
Yeah,
third? Pondo? Oh, go ahead.
I have the Panthers at 8-9.
Dang it, you both have Panthers at third.
Ooh, that high? Damn.
I have the Falcons at 6-11,
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I can understand that. I really can.
and it's for me. It's Desmond Ritter. He's
Y'all
not
got- y'all gonna
terrible, and the defense isn't great. But yeah, you can talk
That
about
means-
the Panthers if you want. You're gonna be interested with mine. I'm just
Same.
yeah.
All right. All right. So all right. Second.
Yeah, but
Second
I'll say this about Carolina. I have them going 8-9 because I think they're a well-coached team, and I think coaching was a massive issue for them last year because of Matt Rule. I think Frank Reich is better, and I love the staff that he brought in. I just don't think they're a team that's ready yet. I just think they need a couple more developmental years.
That's fair.
It's fair.
Second, I have Atlanta at 9-8, missing out on
Same.
the playoffs.
Same.
Wow, funny how that works.
I mean, you can talk about them real quick if you want, but I was gonna.
Okay. But you want to go? You want to go? Or
Oh, you can go, Prime. It's fine.
okay. Yeah. I have them 9-8 because they went 7-10 last year. You know, despite Marcus Mariota absolutely shit in the bed. But no, I got 9-8. for one, they are one of the best guards in football. Number two, the talent, the young talent that they have. Drake London, second year receiver, Kyle Pitts, who should have a bounce back year. You got probably one of the most talked about running back prospects in the past couple of years, and Bijan Robinson, obviously being the first round draft pick for not just in general, but for fantasy matters as well. And then AJ Terrell, I feel like he should have like a little bit of a bounce back year as well. But it's just mainly going to go down to how Desmond Ridder and how the defense is going to be. But they got so much loaded talent, and I feel like they could get them to a push to at least a winning record. So
I agree too. I think the defense has improved a lot. I think Calais Campbell brings some veteran presence there that they need on the D line. Him and Grady Jarrett should be nice. Caden Ellis should be nice at the linebacker position with Mikael Walker. David Onyemata is a nice get on the D line, which again was a massive issue for the Falcons. AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates could be nice, even though I do think Bates is a little overrated. But I think with him maybe taking charge in Atlanta in that secondary, he might be better. And I think the offense, Desmond Ridder, we don't know what to think of him. But I do think Heineke isn't bad at all. And I do think in a weak NFC conference, I definitely think the Falcons are one of the few teams that could take advantage of that with the young talent they got.
It's fair. I think Bijan could carry them if he really goes crazy.
Yeah, Bijan, with him being this good and as a, Tech fan watching him play, I think the guy's the real deal.
And then another thing is that they also have Tyler Algier, who had over 1,000 yards last season. So they're 1-2 points for the running back core is deadly.
Fantastic.
So.
Exactly. So the Falcons could be a fun team to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I
agree.
Yeah, the reason I had them 6-11, I just think it. If they had a really solid quarterback, they'd probably be easily my division favorites. But I feel like every team in this division is missing a piece or two that would make them the clear favorites. That's why it's gonna be so competitive and close. But second.
So you got the Panthers second.
Huh?
So you got the Panthers second.
I do not. I have the Saints at second place.
Holy shit! What?
10-7, 6.
Holy.
Okay. Finish talking, then we're gonna get into that. Cause damn,
bro, it'll make more sense too. But
ow.
the Saints second in division, 6th in the NFC, so they still make playoffs at 10-7. And really, I like their team as it is. Derek Carr, I think, is a nice boost for them. My only issue with them is their head coach, Dennis Allen. I don't like him at all. I think Michael Thomas and Olave, with Michael Thomas hopefully staying healthy, will be a great duo. I like Jawan Johnson. I think he's a really underrated tight end. Their O-line's solid. It's nothing to write home about, or it's nothing special, but it can get the job done. Kamara, when he comes back, will be nice. They have Jamal Williams, who can be a great goal line back. Defense always going to be solid. DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan getting older, but still playing at a high level. Marshawn Lattimore's great. And, I think they're in a spot to make the playoffs. And my Panthers reasoning might be crazy, but, in a minute I'll talk about it. And it's not I don't know. I'll talk about it. But, I just think the only reason the Saints are second here is, due to the Panthers having a sweep against them, actually. So, yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm very high on them. I'll talk about it once we talk
Holy
about first place.
shit.
You guys can talk about why you think the Saints are first, but
your Bills take was pretty wild.
this is big. I'll just say right now, I have the Panthers at 10-7 too. So it's not like they're I'm at 12-5 or anything, but I'll
it's still a hot.
I know, trust me, I know.
I can kind of see it. I really can. I don't hate
I'll
it.
explain it once you talk about the Saints at first. Trust me.
I think it's a hot take, but yeah. Anyways, so all right, we're gonna talk about second. All right, we're moving on to first place. I got the Saints first place at 10-7.
I have the Saints at 12-5.
Whoa.
That's interesting.
Dude, look at their schedule. Listen,
Let me just say,
Okay.
I had the Raiders at 12-5 last year, and Josh McDaniels sold. I think Dennis Allen's just as bad as him, and Derek Carr is Derek Carr.
Now
that is true. But
I understand the talent's better, but
I do think the talent is better with Derek Carr, and I
What's
do
the-
think the
what's the
Saints
schedule?
are more of a somewhat stable organization than the Raiders are. I will say that. I do think Dennis Allen you know, he has a connection with Derek Carr. If you remember, he drafted him back in 2014. Unfortunately, though, Dennis Allen got fired that same year, so I mean that tenure didn't last long at all. But
Fortunately, got his ass fired right away.
the thing is, I do think the Saints, with how easy their schedule is and the talent they have, I just think that this division should be, a lock for them. I really do. Then again, they could fuck it up because, bullshit likes to happen, and the Saints could honestly pull that knowing their luck. But I have them, winning the division. I'm trusting them this year. I think Derek Carr is better than what they've had since Drew Brees retired,
Yep.
and I think the Saints could take a very good advantage of this.
All right. Now let me talk. All right. So I got to win the division, obviously. Now, Derek Carr is a massive upgrade, but also looking at Derek Carr, see, for the Raiders, I know a lot of it wasn't his fault, but like some of the games that should have been a win,
Yeah.
they had the lead, they just managed to blow it, and Derek Carr just choked under certain circumstances. That's for one. But
Bozo.
yeah, the talent they have, Chris Olave, obviously still a receiver. I think Rashid Shaheed is underrated a little bit. Got Jamal Williams, Alvin Kamara, obviously he's 3-game suspension, but that won't last long. I think he returns to himself a little bit. Trevor Panning, could be very nice for the offensive line. And then on top, you still got Demario Davis, Honey Badger, Marcus May. Lattimore's coming back, Mike Evans' son, in a way. But yeah, and just because of the division circumstances, I just have them winning the division at
Bro,
slightly.
their schedule is a blessing.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
Ah.
I don't see them. I
It's
see
not
them
like
losing to
that
like
easy.
some games.
Like, there's so many like 50-50 games for them.
Yeah, exactly. I see them losing, and then the division, always for the division circumstances, they're bound to like lose a couple of those games, but that's like one of the Bucks wins. I have them splitting against the Saints, but other than that, I just don't think that they're too consistent to be like a good, like a great team,
Yeah.
but still a good team, better than they were the past 2 years. So
Oh god. Yeah, I agree. And tennis is fair.
I
Oh
think
god.
all right, now all right, buckle, let's get the popcorn for this
Dude,
one.
I mean, look,
Oh yeah, all right, yeah, go Matt.
I think Bryce Young, even though he's a rookie, compared to C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson, I think he's good enough to lead a team to the playoffs in his first year. I mean, not that it truly matters, but he has that experience with Alabama getting that far. And I feel like the team around him is really, really nice. I really like Miles Sanders as a true RB1 for them. I think he's very talented, and sure, obviously he's no CMC or anything, but I think as long as he stays healthy, he should be good for them. Also, Chuba Hubbard's a serviceable backup. Receiving core, it's obviously not the best. However, I like Adam Thielen as a veteran to help him. I like DJ Chark as a big play guy, and I've heard DJ Chark is honestly Bryce Young's favorite target so far. The O-line's okay. It's nothing like crazy. I like Aquanu, and they have I think his name's Ben Power. No, it's the other one. Bradley Bozeman.
Bozeman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bradley Bozeman.
Yeah, from the Ravens. And then, so yeah, I like that. Defense is what sets it apart for me. I really, really like their defense. I think J.C. Horn is very underrated. I think
If he's healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy now. I think he's top 6 corner in the league when he's healthy. He's absolutely locked down. I like C.J. Henderson if he's still there. He got traded from the Jags. I just
He's been asked for them though.
he has, but I felt like he had potential though. When he got traded, and same with Laviska Shenault as a receiver. Both got traded from the Jags. They just haven't had breakouts yet. Their D line's fun. Brian Burns is a really good player. Penn State, Yetur Gross-Matos. Derek Brown's really solid. And then a guy I've really liked who's been really consistent for a long time, what's his name? Shaq Thompson.
Yeah.
He's really solid.
That's true.
I want to actually go look at their depth chart because I want to just read
Guy
it.
Tuttle there, and now Von Bell.
Yeah, Von Bell, I think, thankfully, I'm happy he's gone from the Bengals because he still gave me trauma from when he knocked Juju's lights out.
Yeah, We don't need to go back to
I
that.
know.
Corvette,
but also,
Corvette.
I like Hayden Hurst as a veteran tight end. I didn't even mention Taylor Moton at right tackle. He's really solid. Frankie Louvu is also a beast. Oh, how do I not
Terrence?
mention? How did I not
They got
mention?
Terrence Marshall.
They do. He's never had a breakout yet. He very well could.
Yeah.
That's the thing with their receivers. Like outside of Thielen, they have breakout like candidates. Mingo they drafted, who's very, I wouldn't say very solid because we haven't seen him yet, but like he has potential as well. And then on defense, I didn't even mention Jeremy Chin yet, who's like a Swiss Army knife. He's a monster. Dante Jackson's a serviceable corner. They signed Justin Houston, who, still had like 8 sacks or something like that with the Ravens. He still has gas in the tank. They also signed Deion Jones, who can be a serviceable linebacker, and and Xavier Woods, safety. They have the best punter in the league, Johnny Hecker. I like them.
That's not Kareem Hunt.
All right. I my reasoning is because I do think their schedule is easy. It's very manageable. They just have to win a game against a couple solid teams. Like I have them 5-2 against other playoff teams, which could change.
Ooh.
Like I have them beating Seattle week 3. Have them beating Dallas week 11, only because they're coming off of a mini bye week that week. And another one I have crazy. Okay, this one's stupid, but I have them beating the Jags. But I feel like it's only because I felt like the Jags would try to I think they'd have the it's week 17. I feel like they'd be clinched by then. I don't know, maybe not seeding, but it depends. And that's not the reason. I just think they can pull an upset off. I'm very high on them. I just feel like their team is good enough, and I think Bryce Young. I like the coaching. That's what I didn't mention. Frank Reich, much better. I mean, I still don't understand why they let go of what's his name? Fucking the guy that Steve Wilkes, I think his name is. I liked him as a coach, but he went to the 49ers, so I guess that's good for him. But Frank Reich, I think, deserved a new opportunity away from the Colts. I think he's fun. I really like their defensive coordinator that they brought in from Denver. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's
Ejiro Evero or
something like that. And yeah, I think he's a great defense coordinator. You saw how the Broncos defense was. I'm just really high on it, and I think they're capable of getting it done. Sure, I agree that the Saints have more overall experience and I think are more likely to win the division. I just think I want to have a bold take there that the Panthers get it done, and I think it'd be cool to have if it does come true.
That's fair.
Is it though? I don't know.
I mean, it's fair to think about what they can be. I mean,
it's gonna come down to potential.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could reach the potential. It's just the question is a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. And we haven't seen a rookie quarterback truly as a starter make the playoffs in a while.
Patrick Mahomes or Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll kind of see how that happens. But I mean, I like the idea. We'll just see if they actually perform up to expectations.
Yep.
All right.
All right. The next division we are going to do is the NFC North.
All right. I don't know how
interesting one.
I don't know how to feel about this, but last place I have the Bears at 6-11.
Same.
Oh God.
All right. Yeah, I mean, because they obviously got so much. They obviously got so much talent.
I don't like it.
Oh shit. Okay.
What?
Matthew got something different.
It's nothing crazy. I just don't have the Bears in last.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just have them last because even though they got so much talent, I just feel like they're just not there. They're just not there yet.
Yeah.
No, obviously you got DJ Moore, Dante Foreman's has proved to be a reliable back. You lost David Montgomery, and their defense is a little hit or miss. Eddie Jackson is iffy at times. They got Tremaine Edmonds as well, but it's just just from coaching, and I feel like some of the teams they got to play. I just feel like they're gonna lose a lot of those games. You got the Vikings, Chargers, Lions, Vikings again. I got the Falcons beating them a couple times. So I just feel like just that they're not just there yet. So that's just my opinion on it.
It's fair.
Not I agree. They're on the right track. They're just not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, last place I have the Packers at 7-10. I just don't love Jordan Love, and I think their offense is going to be bad, to be honest. Like, I like their running backs and Aaron Jones and Dylan, but like, Bakhtiari's injury prone as hell. Jordan Love, this is his first year as a starter ever, and his receiving core of Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and like Jaden Reed, I don't think it's gonna get the job done. Defense, sure, I think it'll win them some games. I don't think it'll be enough though, because they're capable of making mistakes, and I think the Packers' offense won't be enough yet. Like if they upgrade in the like off season, sure, it can be solid, but just with the, I mean, I'm not gonna say their schedule's super hard or anything, because it's not. Like their games are winnable. I just prefer the other teams in the division like over them at this current point in time.
All right.
Okay.
Not bad.
No. It's Pundit's round trip.
I think you have the same as you for
Oh yeah. The Bears. Yeah, the Bears. What now?
Okay, no, I thought I fucked it up.
Okay. All right. Third, I got the Pack. I had the Packers. I got the Packers at 7-10.
Same.
Now,
okay. So you have the
No.
same. It's just
yeah, just third.
you're low on
But
that.
for starters, their defense they have a whole lot of good players on defense. Joe Douglas, Jair Alexander, Quay Walker, DeAndre Campbell. I still think it was kind of a reach get picking Lucas Van Ness. I think the first second round, but it is the offense. Losing Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, trying to take over the helm. The Eagles game that was probably like the only game that we saw from him. He's showing some flashes. Getting that pass to Christian Watson, and Christian Watson can prove to be a very reliable receiver for the Packers. Helped him win my money league last year, but we're not talking about that right now. But it's mainly how young the offense is. Aaron Jones is good. They got one of the best running back cores in the league, and Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. But yeah, he's starting over with Jordan Love. He finally gets his first start after like 2-3 years sitting under Aaron Rodgers. And then Romeo Doubs, Bo Melton, and so on. I don't think it's like too good enough to get the job done. So yeah.
That's fair enough. Third place, I have the Bears at 8-9. Like Plunta said, I think they're on the right track. I think 2024, I think they will be a playoff team. I really like what they did getting DJ Moore for in the Hall for the first overall pick. I think they have plenty of draft capital, plenty of money, and I think they're only going to get better. And honestly, I went back and forth. I almost had the Bears making the playoffs for this season. I just ultimately decided against it because I like a couple of teams a little bit more. But it wouldn't surprise me if they snuck in at like the very back end at like 7. And it's really going to depend on Justin Fields for that, if he can actually not get away from being Bustin Fields. But I don't their defense will need some work. I like Jaquan Brisker, of course, Penn State. But yeah, their offense is probably going to be really fun to watch, and their defense is just going to need work. But 8-9 still respectable. I would say that's an exceptional season for their expectations this year.
I agree.
Oh God! So you're not talking about the Packers because Prime did, Pondo?
Oh fuck, no, my bad. No, I completely blacked out there. But I have the Packers at 7-10 just because I don't think Jordan Love is quite ready yet, and I just think their time is over. And I also think Matt LaFleur is kind of overrated as well.
He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. At second, I have the Vikings at 9-8.
Same.
I
What
have
the
them
fuck?
at second too. I just have them 8-9.
I have the Vikings actually making it though as a 7th seed.
I have an 8 seed.
I think, again, a weak NFC conference, and I think just with how ridiculous Justin Jefferson is and the things he does when he gets the ball, and now that they have Jordan Addison right beside him, I think that offense could be honestly really fun to watch. It's just that defense is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, Brian Flores, who knows what he can do?
True.
But yeah, the talent's not there.
And then Alexander Madison can have a breakout season.
I
So
think so too. Yeah.
Exactly. I think the offense, they have a lot of things to
I like
like about.
Jordan Addison, of course. Pitt and USC legend.
Yeah.
and then their best player in defense outside Harrison Smith is probably Byron Murphy. So
Yeah. And maybe Daniel Hunter, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
So we all got the Lions at first. I guess we're really
what
banking
record though do you have them?
11-6.
I have 10.
I
So.
got I got him 11-6 as well.
Okay.
Damn, what the fuck, Brian? We almost had the same shit on everything.
Damn.
I mean, actually,
All right.
yeah, you pretty much did, right? Besides Vikings record,
It's
No, we had the same thing. The whole
I think I
Yeah.
think you had the exact same.
Bears
Yeah.
at 6-11, Packers 7-10, Vikings 9-8, Lions at 11-6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
you want to speak on the Lions or?
I mean, there's two things. There's two things I can go with the Lions. I mean, one you can say I might say that they're a little bit overrated because of how they're talked about. At the same time, Dan Campbell is a good coach. They do have very much solid offense. The defense got better a little bit, but I feel like it's just enough talk like how the Lions going to win a division, how the Lions going to be top 2 in the NFC. I'm like, we can just hold up on that. We gotta see how they're gonna do when the season starts. But I do feel like how that division is weaker now because Aaron Rodgers left and shit, and that the Lions upgraded, that they're gonna be so much of a threat. Amon St. Brown, great receiver, Jared Goff. They lost Jamal Williams, but got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs as well. And I think an X factor for that team is Sam Laporta. I think he can be a very good tight end in this league. And Aiden Hutchinson obviously proved he can be very much start for the Lions as well. So yeah, it's not really much to talk about there.
Fair enough.
That's completely fair.
Yep.
All right, so 2 divisions down, 2 more to go. The other one we're going to be going into is now the NFC East.
All right.
I mean, this is crazy too. I mean, it's.
I really think we. Actually, I think we might. I don't know.
I think this might be this
to
might
me
have been my
feels
hardest
wrong.
one.
Yeah.
This might have been my hardest one. I ain't gonna
feels
lie.
wrong to me, but like, I don't know, just what I had to do.
Yeah. All right. So Prime, kick it off.
I know how this is gonna be, but I have last place. I have the Commanders at 8-9.
I think
Now,
at last place too.
I do not.
well, what you got? What you got the Commanders record as?
I have them as 5-12.
Mm.
Damn. I mean, that could happen. I'm not gonna lie.
I have them at 8-9. I mean, simply because they start off with Sam Howell. I feel like he could be okay in this league. You got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson coming back. I feel like Brian Robinson can have like a little bit of a breakout year because I think Antonio Gibson really fell off. That's just my take about it. And then I think the defense got a little bit better. From the cornerback perspective, you got Kyle Fuller. You got Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, and then Emmanuel Forbes, which I still think that he shouldn't have been the first corner taken off, like the second corner taken off in the draft, but I feel like he could be very good for them as well. But I just don't see them like how I said in like the other divisions, how much talented the other teams are, like the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. I feel like they're all more talented than the Commanders, and plus have better coaching. So that's just one reason I got the Commanders at last place.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's kind of the same as you. I think the defense is great. The D-line is nuts, but I think the offense is just a huge question mark with Sam Howell starting. I thought maybe they should have went with Jacoby Brissett as their starter because I think he's just more experienced, and I thought he was pretty decent with the Browns when he played before Deshaun came back. So,
Same.
but oh well.
Yeah. Last I have the Giants at 7-10. It's if like I said, it feels wrong to me because I really like Brian Dable and how he's turned him around, but I'm higher. I mean, it's funny because I have the Commanders at 7-10 too, but like, I feel like I'm higher than them on most. And I'm higher on Sam Howell, or mostly specifically, but I don't know. Their schedule looks pretty hard. Like the Cowboys and Eagles aren't going to be easy games. They have Seattle, Buffalo, Miami. Um, it's looking tough, and I gave them wins over Philadelphia and Dallas at one point.
Oh God.
I know,
Hey.
like I felt bad. Like that's why. That's the only reason, and they still finished 7-10 for me. So it's just not good. Um, I don't think they're necessarily bad. I just think that the other teams are more complete. They don't have a great receiving core whatsoever. Um, I love Darren Waller acquisition. Saquon's still obviously a monster. I love him. Defense, I feel like it could be better because I mean their secondary. I like Xavier McKinney. Let's go look at it.
Story.
Yeah, Dory's good, bro. Why did my screen just go black? Let me click on it. Giants.
And then they get Deontay Banks
They
too.
did get Deontay Banks. Thankfully they took him instead of Joey Porter. It's a good defense. It's like I like Okereke, Kayvon Thibodeau, Lawrence. It's good. I don't know why. Like I said, it feels wrong for me to have them this low. I just don't like. I don't know why, to be honest. It's just what I went with my gut, to be honest, and that's just what happened. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
Their schedule is brutal. You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
That's true.
And they've won the close games last year, like they did. That's how they made it. But like, I don't know. That's just what I had to do.
All right.
And it probably leans on me having two NFC South playoff teams as well. But yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah. Third
all
place.
right.
Okay. So at third, I have the Giants at 6-11.
Okay, so you have them worse than me. So
I just
yeah.
schedule's too hard. I think their schedule is really hard, and I just don't know if they have the offensive talent to keep up with some of these defenses I'm looking at. I really don't. I think their receiving core is better. Maybe Daniel Jones with Jalen Hyatt could actually be the Daniel Jones that we all are expecting now from the past couple years. Maybe he can actually kind of let loose a little bit and show that deep ball strength that he has. But again, I'm not a big believer in Daniel Jones. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he's that good. I think he has improved on his decision making. I will say that. But again, I just don't think he's a quarterback that's going to really bring you to a consistent playoff contender. And I just think he's a system quarterback based on that.
That's fair.
All right. Now, I have the Giants at I have the Giants in a 7 because I mean, just me personally, I feel like Brian Dabble is a good coach, a great coach, won coach of the year for a reason this past season. We've seen some flashes of Daniel Jones. He should have got all that money, but at the same time, he did have the best year of his career. Um, Top of that, Andrew Thomas, good guard. Saquon, contract year. I feel like he's going to go off again. Isaiah Hodgins and Jalen Hyatt, I feel like they could be a very good punch. Hodgins showed some flashes last season when he had no other receiver. The guy Darren Waller, of course. And I think the defense is a little bit underrated. You know, Adore, Deontay Banks, Xavier McKinney, Dexter Lawrence, obviously a great tackle, defense tackle. But I feel like just mainly just off the coaching that they're still gonna compete for a winning spot. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I want them to. I feel like it's just their schedule, bro. Like
I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. I just
Cowboys twice, Eagles twice, 49ers, Dolphins, Seahawks, like even Commanders could take a game. Jets, Saints. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think they split the Cowboys. I got Philly sweeping them. I think they split the Cowboys, and I think uh and I think they split with Washington. So yeah, it is brutal, but I just feel like they can get a way to get it done. I don't know.
I
That's-
agree. I hope they do. I don't know.
But yeah, I have them as a 7 seed, so that's
Yeah, that's honestly fair. Third place, I have Commanders at 7-10. The only thing I'll say about them is I think I'm higher than most on Sam Howell. I don't think he's gonna be no elite quarterback or anything, but I like what I've seen from him so far, and I would definitely start him over Jacoby Brissett. So, and I think Jahan Dotson's very underrated and gonna surprise people. So, hopefully that duo, because you saw what they did to end the Ravens streak, pretty much. I mean, they cooked. So yeah, I'm hoping for the best for them, and I think if Sam Howell actually plays very, very good, they could make playoffs. But other than that, that's all I'll say.
Yeah. So what are we at now? Second?
Yeah.
I got
Second,
Cowboys at 12-5.
I got them at 11-6.
I have Cowboys at 10-7.
I just still think the Cowboys are, I think, overhated. I still think they're a very good team. I still think Dak just had an off season last year with his injuries. I think now with a guy like Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb, I think those are two good options to have. I think Tony Pollard now is going to get a lot more opportunity in this offense now that Zeke is gone, and I think he's going to prove why he's worth that role. I also I think the Cowboys' offensive line is still one of the best. I think they worked out things with Zach Martin, so that's good for them. I think the defense is what really is to like about Dallas a lot. I think Micah Parsons is a beast and is going to at one point win a Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's no debate there. He will at one point with given his versatility and his talent. I think the secondary is not bad. I think having Stephon Gilmore now with Trevon Diggs is a really good cornerback duo that people aren't talking about enough, and they should be, because I think Stephon Gilmore still has some left in the tank, and he can really bring a lot of impact on that Dallas defense.
Yep, Michael Parsons is just so good.
They got a tougher schedule, too.
I do. I mean, I have them, I have them 10-7, lower than you guys. I just have them beating the Bills and Dolphins for some reason.
Same. What the fuck?
Ow!
I don't know. I like their matchup against them. I think their defense can shut down the Bills' offense, and I think the Dolphins game would be great. But I think, like, once again, I think the defense would be able to at least contain the Dolphins' offense.
Bro, that's actually nuts.
That's insane.
I did not expect that.
With that,
But
I
not-
have the Eagles sweeping the Cowboys. I don't know. You probably guys do too.
I'm splitting. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I got them splitting.
All right, fair enough. Damn.
I mean, and then Eagles at first. I mean,
Yeah. What's your record for them?
13-4.
12-5.
Same,
Well.
13-4.
Bro, I mean,
Their schedule's not easy by any means either.
I think do they have the hardest schedule in the league, or am I tripping?
They might they play Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys twice.
but I mean, still, look at that
I know
team.
they're just the best team in the NFC. That's what it comes.
And then
down
on
to.
top, to make matters even worse, worse or good, that they're in the sweepstakes to get Jonathan Taylor
I
potentially.
know. If they do,
Potentially.
it's over.
But no, it's nothing much to talk about.
Yeah.
Great defense, great offense. Jalen Hurts, obviously, could MVP runner-up last season, and they got one of the best receiving cores in the league, receiving duos in the league, in AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
So just a harder schedule, but all that talent that they have, plus the coaching of Nick Sirianni, nothing much to say about it.
And they just have 18 Georgia defensive linemen who are absolutely.
yeah, I
animals.
mean,
Shit, players in general. They got Kayla Ringo too.
Yeah, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, what's the other one's name? Like,
And then they got DeAndre Swift. So, yeah.
yeah, they're gonna still. I have them as number one. I don't know if you guys have them as the 1 seed, but
I don't.
Oh yeah, for
don't.
sure.
you don't, Plundo.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I
You
kind of.
don't?
I made a little.
Have we not discussed your number one yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay,
Alright,
and
we're about to get to it soon.
yeah, we're getting to the division with it right now.
Yeah.
It is the NFC West.
All right.
I mean,
Hey,
this
for
is
starters-
a weird division too.
For starters, I'm gonna just say it out loud. I think this team gonna be the worst team in the league. I got the Cardinals at 2-15. Nothing.
I have them at 1-16.
I'm at 3-14.
But yeah, it's still the worst team to our standards as well. But yeah, they got nothing going on. You just traded Isaiah Simmons to the Giants for basically nothing. Buda Baker, I think he wants out, but still there for the time being. Kyler Murray not gonna be there for a couple of weeks, damn near half the season probably.
I'm mad that our division plays the Cardinals while he's gonna be out, and we're probably gonna be the only team that plays Kyler Murray. That's what makes me mad. Because we play him week 13, and they play him like within the first 7 weeks, like literally all 3 teams. Pisses me off, bro.
So yeah, and top of that, they have no idea who the starter going to be, whether it's Josh Dobbs or Colt McCoy or some shit. But yeah, they're just terrible in all aspects. So yeah,
Josh Dobbs.
nothing. On the bright side, they do have 2 first-round picks in next season. So like
Marvin Harrison would turn their team around. I'm just saying.
Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams will be
And
absolutely
they would
insane.
get value for Kyler. I don't know if they would though, because his contract is expensive. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's going to be interesting to see how they play that out.
Yeah. Third place. I mean, who do you guys have?
I have the Rams
Same.
at 3 and
Same.
I got them at 4-13.
yeah. The Rams and Cardinals are going to be fucking terrible this year.
It's weird because even
It's basically Cooper Kupp and fucking Matthew Stafford. That's it.
Aaron Donald. That's it.
Cam Akers could have a solid year because I know people overhyped him in fantasy just to be absolutely ass. But who knows what'll happen? But it's just they got a tough schedule. You know, Niners, Giants, Saints,
I think
Seahawks,
their roster's
our,
terrible.
our Steelers, the Eagles, the fucking Bengals. Yeah. They got nothing good surrounded their way right now.
Mhm. All right.
Anyways,
And then the Seahawks at second for me.
I have them 10-7.
same.
They
I had them as 6 seed. I have them as a 6 seed.
Fair enough.
10-7.
Plundo,
What you got,
do you have
Plundo?
to make playoffs, Plundo?
Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
What's the record?
As much as I hate that fan base with a
Yeah,
passion.
me too, bro. It's terrible.
Yeah, but I hate them a lot more than you do.
Oh, I know.
Wait. What you have the record as?
10-7.
Oh, okay. So we all got the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I have the Niners winning the division.
You have them number 1 in the whole NFC.
Yeah, I do.
What's the record?
15-2.
I have them 12-5. Who do you only have them losing to?
I got them 12-5 too.
Yeah.
All right. I have them losing to us. Funny
I mean,
enough.
same. That's crazy, but like,
All of us.
so you're saying they go 16-1 the rest of the year?
Yeah, I really do. I really think this team.
Team.
This is probably my biggest surprise of the whole schedule, but I don't know. Something about the Niners just feels different to me. I mean, yeah, they lost D'Amico Ryans, but I mean, they seem to always find a good defensive coordinator, and they still seem to always have an elite defense no matter what. And I'm looking at the schedule. They can easily beat these teams. They really can. They've had
You're right.
success against them in the past, and I think it's going to continue. Like, week 1, I think they're going to lose to us because I just think that we match up well with them, and I think
Broad Purdy.
I think the situation with the Niners are in right now isn't the greatest coming into week 1. However, I do think they'll figure it out as they go. Then they got the Rams, Giants, Cardinals, and Cowboys
Easy.
after that.
I have the
think
Cowboys
that's-
beating them, to be honest.
Yeah,
the Niners have owned the Cowboys, and this is going to be in San Francisco, and I don't see anything changing.
I know.
I think it's gonna be like a little redemption arc for that.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I think it'll
Cowboys.
be a very close game. I don't think it's going to be like out of the water or anything, but I just think the Niners get it in the end.
Wait, who is the other team you have them losing to?
The other team that I have them losing to is the Rams week 18.
Oh, because the wrestling starters. Damn. I mean, so technically, you think they could basically be undefeated? That's
Yeah,
fucking
I mean, it
crazy.
may be crazy. I'm not going to lie. It may be crazy. To
I
think
have
this,
them
but
beating the Eagles. That's what's crazy to me.
I'm beating the Eagles too.
I know, but
I got the Eagles winning.
I know. I feel like their redemption. It's like they lose the redemption to the Cowboys, but they get theirs with Brock Purdy versus the Eagles. I don't know. It depends on Nick Bosa too. Like if he doesn't play, he's holding out. GG.
I think they're definitely going to pay him, though. There's no way they don't.
have no choice.
Yeah, they don't.
They're literally fucked without him.
And if they don't pay him, then I think I might need to change my record prediction
Yeah,
there.
bro.
Nick Bosa when he sees an African American quarterback.
Alright. Well, how would we even be doing playoffs rate? Like,
I think we gotta speed through this, bro.
Yeah. Just like say them quick or something like that.
All right, wait, hold up. Yeah, say the seven that's making the playoffs, and then just say who's
All
gonna
right.
be. Well,
Okay, so for my AFC, the top 7 teams that I think made it. Well, I not think that did in this scenario. At 1, the Chiefs with the bye. At 2, the Jets. At 3, the Jaguars. At 4, the Bungles. At 5, the Steelers. 6, Buffalo, and then at 7, I have Baltimore.
Good, bro.
all right, all right. So me, I had the Chiefs 1, Bengals 2, Jags 3, Bills 4, Steelers 5, Ravens 6, and Chargers 7.
I have Jets 1, Chiefs 2, Bengals 3, Jags 4, Dolphins 5, Steelers 6, and Chargers 7.
Oh, Jets 1, damn.
Yeah. Wait till you see my Super Bowl
Hey.
pick, bro.
All
Damn.
right.
Okay,
All right.
the
NFC.
NFC, at 1, I have the Niners. At 2, I have Philly. At 3, I have New Orleans. At 4, I have Detroit. 5, Dallas. 6, Seattle. 7, Minnesota.
All right, all right. So me, I have Eagles 1, Niners 2, Lions 3, Saints 4, Cowboys 5, Seahawks 6, and the Giants 7.
Okay, let mine load. I have Eagles 1, 49ers 2. Bro, load. I'm just trying to go off my memory. I know. Okay, hold on. Dude, why is it on the Texans schedule? Okay, yeah. Eagles 1, 49ers 2, Lions 3, Panthers 4, Cowboys 5, Saints 6, and Seahawks 7. Bro.
all right.
Yeah, I don't know what, bro. I'm scared about my Carolina prediction. I am now, but like,
Nah, I'm scared about my
riding with
Niners.
it.
Nah, the Bills one was kind of crazy to me.
I know.
Dude, I'm scared about my Niners
Honestly,
prediction.
we should just say our Super Bowl like 2 teams and then just who we think. will win.
Okay, me, I got the Chiefs and the Niners going to the Super Bowl and the Niners winning it.
All right. Now me, it's probably a little crazy. I got Eagles, Bengals, Eagles winning it.
Oh,
I got Jets Eagles and I have the Jets winning.
oh, shit. Okay, fuck. All right.
Also, I
Not-
wanted to ask, like, where do you think the Steelers make it or get eliminated at?
I have the Steelers getting eliminated in the second round to the Chiefs.
Same.
I have them losing to
Oh,
the Jets
well-
second round. So yeah.
I think they beat the Bills in the first. I think they beat the Bills in the first round.
That's what I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask, like, what team you would be worried about if we had to face them in the playoffs? Like, who do you think we have zero chance to beat in the playoffs?
The Chiefs easily.
Chiefs.
I feel like we could
As
beat
much
the
as I
Chiefs at
say-
this current point, bro. I really do.
I don't know, dude. Mahomes just has
I know.
no matter defense.
I hate that fraud, but he cooks us all the time.
Yeah, dude.
I
No
know,
matter what
I just
defense
feel
you
like
put,
I feel like we have a better chance versus them than like the Jets. Like I really do.
Because yeah, like 'cause I honestly, if we used to play the Bengals or Ravens, it would have been tough. It would be tough. I feel like it would have been more tough than
yeah, but
Bills.
we know our
but-
division opponents well. That's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously we think the Bills are frauds in the playoffs. So, but I have the Steelers matching up to the Bills and going to be the upset, one of the upsets in the playoffs. So
Yep.
yeah, this is
Yeah, I think the thing with the Chiefs is that whatever defense you can put in front of Mahomes, I think Mahomes can just dissect it anytime.
Yeah. I know. I mean, let's think about it. Like, we played 2021. We started, like, our offense was just atrocious, but our defense literally got a touchdown. And they had Tyreek Hill still at that point. Like, they have no Tyreek Hill. I think their receivers are guardable for our secondary or our defense in general. Kelsey, obviously, you're not going to stop him. And I feel like our offense, if it, it goes how we at least expected to, could hang with their defense. That's all.
And I'll be with you, Matthew. I do think we have a chance against the Jets. I do
I
think
know.
they're a beatable team.
yeah.
I'm very high. Like, I think, I mean, you heard me. I have them winning the Super Bowl as of right now. But, like, I just don't see a way they're, like, not that good with Aaron Rodgers, just compared to how good they still were with their actual, garbage fire at quarterback last year. But,
All right.
But I think we have 2 all-pros at defense that I think can contain Rodgers.
No, I got two things. One, remember when I called Devin Bush to get intercept Mahomes and Najee to fumble and that shit?
Oh my god, that's
That was fucking insane. That's number one. Number two, the Jets hype it's deserved. It's much to be deserved.
We
But at
just
the
haven't
same
seen it yet.
time,
I understand.
like I pointed out earlier, the Jets can be the Jets. Like,
Yep.
I remember seeing one thing that said biggest downfalls in NFL history. And then it was one thing that popped up was Brett Favre's only stint as the Jets. They start off like freaking 8-3, 9-4. They ended up missing postseason
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why. I'm like, it could be the case because the Jets, I think, have the current longest playoff drought, if I'm not
They
mistaken.
do.
Yeah, so if they can make the postseason, that's good for them. But at the same time, I would not be surprised if they ended up missing it with all the talent that they have on the roster. So
If they missed it, I would look like a complete dumb fuck. All right.
Yeah, you would. That would not be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, that's gonna do it for this very long episode. But as you can see, we had fun doing this. I think we'll see if we're right about these predictions or we're way off. But our TikTok page will kind of be the determine that for us with the clips that we post on there. From the co-host Matthew,
Good night, everybody.
from the co-host Primetime.
later.